minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff.
Shake it back! Does that feel good? Yeah.
Woo! Yeah! Welcome to episode 36 of the Shake and Bake Show. We've got the Three Musketeers riding once again. I missed the hell out of all of you guys. I missed all you Shake and Bakers. It's been a tumultuous 3 weeks in drag racing. Thank you guys for coming on and watching this show.
Hi, friends.
Hello, friends.
We've already got some any day nows in the comments there. Easy there, Amazon. We'll get it.
We appreciate you guys' patience. As you know, all of us have jobs and companies and businesses, and sometimes schedules get a little shot out here and there. We missed last week. We'll get to that in a little bit. Courtney, you look like you just got off the supermodel set or something. You got your makeup and hair all done.
Go ahead. Slide the old chair back there. See.
I missed the pre-show. I missed the pre-show pants drop, so I don't know what it is.
I said,
is this one of those deals where you get dolled up for the Zoom meeting up here and like you got on the down there or something?
No.
I look like I could be freaking whipping Bloody Marys on a golf course right now.
Oh, you got on the tennis skirt deal? Okay. All right, we'll see if we can we'll see if we can see that later, but probably not. Might get yelled at for asking.
He's trainable, folks. He's trainable.
See, I can't be taught. So it's been a while. It's been 5 weeks since we've had the three of us on the show. So I missed you guys. We got a stacked up show tonight. We got a hot rod guest. But before we get to that, what the hell you guys been doing?
Well, I got 5 weeks of updates. So
what are you eating? First of all, what the hell are you eating?
I'm finishing up my fig bar because I just went to the gym and I'm going to start drinking wine. And if I don't have something in between, it's going to get a little zippy, a little quickie.
I also just got back from the gym. I'm wore out. That's why I was.
I just ate a purple isopine bar that Nash D brought me. In case you were wondering.
Do your impersonation of him.
Daddy, purple isopine.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I just smoked through right there.
There you go.
927 calories, 120 minutes of greatness, and I'm wore out.
Well.
So 5 weeks. Give it to us. Big Newtons and everything. Rock and roll.
I apologize. I don't like missing things. I have FOMO real bad, but sometimes shit happens and you got to take care of your own shit first. And that's just the way it was that week. So I heard all the things. I had people come up to me in Chicago, MF and me about ditching Shake and Bake. And was it because I was in Canada? No, I was actually at home by myself. So
hold on. Pause for a merch deal. Email don@steviefast.com and we will swap that out for you if we sent the wrong size. BJ, we're sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
There you go. So anyways, yes, I was at home and just had a lot of shit going on that day and just couldn't make it happen. So here we are. Where have I been? I've been to Pdra. We'll talk about that soon. Been to Chicago. I did go to Canada. I was hoodwinked into thought that I was supposed to go hiking. I was told we were hiking. And I climbed a mountain. So I'm a mountain climber now. It was the most mentally difficult thing, but it was pretty cool. So I think that that's the old check off the box and I'll be done with that forever and ever. Amen.
Did you see a moose or anything while you were hiking?
No. And I thought it was really weird. I didn't even see like any critters.
No bears, raccoons or anything?
No, I saw one squirrel. And like literally nothing, but it was in Vancouver on the West Coast. And so like we were really high up and I asked a question. I'm like, why aren't there any critters around here? And I guess it's common knowledge that we were just too far up. So really, really cool. I'd never been over there before. My Texas ass is going to be staying at sea level for a little bit here. But other than that, it was nice to go on a real life vacation. It's been a long time since I've done it. And then got to see Lyle last weekend and you were nowhere to be found. And, you know.
I was hustling, baby. I was hustling.
I was there.
That's about it.
Lyle, answer Stephen Merced's question. Were you driving that thing?
Yes, I was. And we will
get to that.
We'll get to that in just a little bit. Don't let us forget. Well, we won't forget because it was pretty cool. Me and Steve were talking about before we went live. But anyway, I've been beadlocking the world. We have 21 sets of wheels on the floor to be done at the moment that we have not taken out of the box yet. I raced Chicago, was there with Courtney and the rest of the gang. Came home, ran the $50,000 to win King of the South race, which is where I was driving Axeman's car. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And now I have piled into Epping week, and I'm not at all ready to leave. But either get on a plane in a couple of days and go, or fucking miss it. So
when do you leave?
On Thursday sometime.
Oh, okay.
The flying driver guy show up on Thursday.
I'm coming Friday night.
Sign some autographs, eat you some nachos, and get in there.
Yeah,
that's good. So business is good in the Lyle department.
It is.
I'm busy. Been doing some racing. We'll get to the no prep race. The reason the show got canceled last week, I don't know if you guys saw our social media post. I was on a Delta flight out of Atlanta.
Was it a Boeing? Was it a Boeing?
It was an Airbus.
Ooh.
So this thing, like, you know, I'm a pilot, so like I get into what they're doing, like I know what they're doing, like I pay attention and stuff. Well,
all right.
That's not what it sounded like.
maybe it was.
Maybe it was. So we hit the takeoff roll, and I mean, I'll call it out, even though I don't know what they're doing. Airspeed's alive, 30, 40, 60 knots. This thing sounded like when the left engine exploded, it sounded like you smashed a forklift into a wall. It was a pow, a metallic pow. Explosion, fire out both ends, lights up the inside of the cabin. Airplane slides off the side of the tarmac. They get it back up. It scared the shit out of me. I knew what happened, but I was thinking, please don't take off. Like, right. We got a long runway. Like, we're good. Pilots did a great job. I mean, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. They let us know immediately, hey, guys, we had an engine failure on takeoff. I've never had that before in 30 years is what the pilot said. Never seen it. We're going to stop. You're going to see a lot of fire trucks and stuff. They're just coming up to take a look. We don't have a fire indication. We pulled the internal fire bottle on the engine. They come up. He said, we're going to squirt a lot of water in the engine just to make sure that it's not on fire. And then they're going to drag us back to the gate, and this plane's not going anywhere. So it was crazy.
Thank God it happened when it happened.
Well, so they train a lot for a single engine. That thing will fly on one engine, but it don't fly good, especially with enough fuel to make it 5,000 miles to Brazil.
Wait, to Brazil? Yes. No, thank you.
So it's heavy, and you don't want to do it, but it'll do it, and they train for it a lot. So I'm not saying that it would have been anything different, but 45 seconds later, they would have had their hands full a lot more, especially when you lose the left engine on a jet. So I was able to obtain the sneaky Delta report, and it basically states that left engine on takeoff, and Delta's very detailed. I'm going to get an email about this. They list what happened, pilot, passengers, did anybody panic, how many social media mentions it got on the internet, like everything.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, I know there's zero on their report. There's zero social mention media.
How did they get away with that?
I think it's because it was 11 o'clock at night and everybody was just tired. We all went to a hotel, got a new plane next morning, went to Brazil. So that's why we missed the show last week, and I'm sorry. But
yeah, but you got to think that how many rows were in that plane?
A lot.
Like
somebody got video of it.
Somebody was videoing out the window. Somebody.
If they did, it'd be on the internet. I guarantee you, because it was.
I looked because it's like I always end up on like Boeing fuck ups and plane issues.
I always end up on that shit too. Like the guys from Brazil, they said, should we just not hang out around you? Like, because something's always trying to kill you. And yeah. I don't know why that is, but weird shit like that happens to me all the time. Are
you living right, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm living right. And I didn't take the honky rocket because I didn't want to crash and die. So everybody's like, why didn't you take the honky rocket? Because that's the shit that happens on the honky rocket.
And then it happened on the.
And I flew on that motherfucker.
Hey, man, the honky rocket's awesome. I'm about to kickstart that thing as soon as the show's over and start smoking toward the north. So I'm honky rocket's awesome.
Are you coming to Epping?
Yes.
Well, you say that like when I assumed you were coming to Chicago and didn't. So like.
Well, three things at play. One, we sucked a big wiener out in Phoenix. But
Right,
number
that's
two is we have 3 or 4 in a row. So we raced Brazil last week, Epping and Bristol. It's hard to do Brazil,
This is a run for you guys.
Bristol, and then we're a week off and then head back to Brazil. So this is kind of the midst of our season. So Chicago was a planned miss for our team. We were just going to sub a driver in. And with the schedule backed up, Sydney wasn't planning on competing in Chicago ever. He wasn't going to come to that.
I have a real question. If I was watching this show, this is what I would type. How do the competitors and teams in NHRA Pro Mod feel about going to Epping? Is everybody stoked? Was there any kickback? Is it so far?
So last year, I sit on the committee that raises funding for our class. So we got a sweet deal in Epping last year. We were getting a lot of TV time.
Yeah.
They really rolled out the red carpet for us. It was exciting. Everybody was excited to go. And then it rained out. We all went there. There was no pro stock last year. Well, now there is. So I don't know that question. I'm sure that it's mixed. It's really far for us. Like for our teams, for most of the teams,
it's way far.
20 hours of driving. It's just like almost like going to Vegas. So
what about you?
We're parked in the grass in Epping.
We are going to be parked in the grass?
You won't be probably, but we will. But I think we have right now, and I'm probably not supposed to say this, I think we'll have the top 12, I think, or should be parked on asphalt. But we're going to be split up, which is not ideal. And that may not be final. That's just what I think is going to happen. They just don't have enough asphalt, with pro stock there. So there are some folks that are really excited about Epping. I'm excited about going.
Weather's going to be sick.
Well, the weather's going to be killer. I saw how many fans had never seen Pro Mod that came out last year, and we didn't get to race. So there's a heap of people that came to that race last year just to see Pro Mod. And I'm excited I for one am excited. I think it's going to be a fun deal. We got 24 cars going to New Hampshire.
That's insane. That's why I was asking. I couldn't believe that.
And they're hot rod cars, and the weather's going to be good. We're going to talk about when we get to Epping. We're going to get to that a little bit. Or when we talk about the bump, we're going to have us a little Polaruski for the bump and see what happens.
If you raced in the Southeast in years past, Rhett Gardner, who is now the general manager at New England, was the general manager at Darlington. So if you've raced at Darlington in the past and you knew Rhett and knew him as the worker at Darlington, I'm excited to go up there and race at his racetrack. I've never been there, so I'm excited. Yeah. I heard about the fans last year. The air is going to be really good.
It's in the 40s on Friday night.
Yeah, it's insane.
You're going to have to be fast.
When you go see a concert, you go see an artist. I don't know how it is where y'all live, but if an artist is from Texas, their concerts in Texas are just better. Brian Loans is so excited about this race. He is going to if that correlation makes sense, the Brian Loans concert is going to be fucking lit.
Yeah, the hearing him last year talk about when we got to go up for the one session that we got before the biblical rainstorm came, he was excited and it was fired up. It was good. I am excited. And with the weather, we're talking about 500 to 1,500 feet of DA. We're talking about world record conditions. We're talking about don't try to run 585. You're going to get crushed.
I'm trying to do things that especially with all of the heavy PDRA travel going on right now, the NHRA travel, everything. I'm trying to go into races on Friday night a lot more and give myself an extra day of life. I almost rebooked my flight because I'm skipping Friday night qualifying at Epping to do some stuff here. I got some shit going on and I'm not coming home after, and I'm going to a wedding the next week. And so I just don't undo that look. I'm doing some shit for myself these days, fool. And
yes, me and Lyle will just try to make it happen up there.
Right. I mean, literally world record conditions. I think I'm just going.
I'll just come later.
I believe I'm just going to sit my ass right here in Texas.
Both you
God bless Texas and fuck your conditions. You need some of those big square glasses right on the end of your nose and a bonnet.
You're not going to be one of them people that start.
What I said was,
you're not going to be.
I'm going to put on my floral ankle-length skirt, and I'm going to read To Kill a Mockingbird to a bunch of middle schoolers on Friday afternoon, and I ain't coming.
I can't fly into Boston till late that night. It was either early in the morning or late.
You're not going to be one of them
Boston.
people that races for money, are you? You're not going to turn into one of them folks that comes.
The last time I was in Boston, they had a tea party.
Yes, Stevie, that is exactly what I'm trying to be in this day and age.
You're going to turn into one of them people that does what we do for money? Like
Yes.
just shows up. Oh my gosh.
Yes. But anyway, the point I was trying to make, you
I
bearded
forgot.
fuck
The
down
whole
there,
thing we got lost there. That was awesome.
is that I almost changed my flight just to come see those conditions. And I still
Let us know when you're done with this shitty race.
This whole new you thing sucks. You don't get drunk. You don't stand up and show your tennis skirt. You get mad at us every time we talk about it. You don't come on the Shake and Bake show, and you don't come to races until Friday. This new
one time.
you caring about yourself and being healthy sucks.
One time I picked, didn't come on the Shake and Bake show. I'm back on the train.
That's
we don't
Welch's.
care about
That's
your mental
Welch's.
health. We need you to fall apart and ruin your whole life. That's what everybody wants.
You missed the Hot Mess Express, Courtney, that just took everybody down winter along the way.
We want the blazing path of destruction, CE. We don't want this. I'm going to live a long time and do yoga on the top of a mountain with a bottle of maple syrup, Courtney. We want the damn doing shots off. Never mind.
Yeah, but, well, what you don't know, she's drinking Welch's. That's not fucking wine. Okay.
Is that Bonanza? You drink Bonanza wine in Texas. I got me a bottle of Bonanza.
I'm not done yet. Did you get out to make
All right.
me
So
time?
we're getting off the rails here.
Good.
We're losing control here.
Everybody's
I am
blaming
old.
Canadian boom boom. That's great.
Yeah.
Courtney's plane probably lose an engine on takeoff Friday, and she'll just sit at
Yeah,
home.
see, everybody likes dumpster fire. I clicked the wrong comment. Oops.
She was there for a while. Listen, just because she'll be back, I'm sure. But right now, we're getting our shit together. Right now, we're together.
Double O Shit Show's comment says all of our social media posts are going to end with "Me Too" from now.
No, I'm still a Republican.
Got team.
Don't worry. Life will have a way of circling back. We will at some point get dumpster fire Courtney back. The swath of destruction, the getting thrown off the airplane, the fun time Courtney will be back.
She'll be back. Listen, I'm still fun.
I know all your skeletons, doo-dah, doo-dah. But you know a lot of mine too, so I got to be
I
careful.
do. I was going to say, listen, you want to start big
Let's keep that. Keep that.
Erica chimes in. Thanks, Erica.
All right, so let's see if we got time to cover. What do y'all want to start? Because we got a little. We kind of
Is
loose.
Tyler back there yet or no?
No, not yet.
Okay.
You want to start with Brazil?
We need to.
Yeah.
No, we need to recap Chicago real quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Chicago. I wasn't there, but it looked like the track was treacherous. I don't want to sugarcoat it. It looked like it was really tough. It appeared to be one lane-ish, and judging by the qualifying sheet in Pro Mod, I would say that just watching it looked like it was pretty tough because everybody's not that dumb. I didn't see many pairs of any fuel cars get down in qualifying.
Well, it was ugly.
Um,
Ended her 180 something race streak of qualifying.
Which
Who
was
did?
on
Brittany
Brittany Force.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't qualify.
That was
So
wild.
tell me the highs and the lows, what you guys thought. I thought Chicago last year when we went was badass, but I didn't go this year. We were prepping for Brazil and we were actually testing. So I made, and this is how serious I am about NHRA racing. So we couldn't go to Chicago, but I went and tested in Rockingham, and I actually went to the lanes when they called Pro Mod to the lanes because the conditions in Rockingham were within 50 feet of density altitude of Chicago. And I actually ran down the track and tested when Pro Mod ran Q1 because I wanted to see where I stacked up on the sheet. That's pretty crazy, but that's
How'd
what
you do?
I went 576 at 250. So that would have been number one. But obviously I was on a much better track than what you guys had there. But tell me the highs and lows and what it felt like.
Go ahead, Law.
I mean, the racetrack was tricky, yeah, but I felt like I'm not going to say everybody missed it because everybody couldn't have missed it all at the same time. But I do think that everybody was surprised that nobody went any faster than we did qualifying. Then we come out Sunday morning and every Bahrain one car in a row went low for the session consecutively, ending with Jordan Lasik in your old tried and true there, went 68. But, Dillard hasn't raced in a long time. Now, granted, he was in a really good car and he's a good driver. I think he'd only made 7 runs this year prior to getting in the car for the weekend and just ran a good race. Those guys race good. And I had just an unfortunate run in E2. They did not rub the track behind the fuel cars, which they had done.
Everywhere, baby. Love that.
And they had done that every run prior, and I was not in the car because they told us they were going to prep. So I'm literally like ducking my head in, and they're like, Lyle, they're not prepping. And I'm like, oh, I'm first car out. So, which they understood, and they gave us a little time, but I just went out where it shouldn't have, and it knocked the tire off, and it was what it was, But
now, from me watching, and a lot of times I feel like, I know this is going to come off wrong, but I feel like you have a way bigger picture of what's going on watching from home than you do at the race. Because like we're watching, I see every pair of cars. I see what everybody's doing. Every car that goes right, the same time in the same spot, everybody shakes in the same spot. You can't see that stuff at the track because you can't we can't as competitors, so we can't spend enough time looking at it. But it definitely looked like everybody missed it in Q1. The Pro Charger cars back proving dominance. If you look at the qualifying sheet, the quickest non-Pro Charger car was number 8. But what you did see is what you're going to see throughout the end of the season. You're going to see it in Epping this weekend. Is that screw blower is very peaky on air, and once it gets tipped under 2,000 foot of DA, it's a freaking hot rod, and that's what you saw on Sunday. And then when the air is 2,700 feet, it's not so shiny. They got to run early, but it was some good racing, man. Like it was fun to watch.
And I'm going to give him credit because he deserves it. Belushi hasn't done very well for the past couple seasons. Drives really good over in Bahrain and comes over here and doesn't do well, but that dude drove really good last Sunday.
Cool.
I think his worst light of race day was in the 40s or something like that. And I'm hard on him. I give him some shit about being late, and I've beat him on a whole shot this year, but he drove it really well, and they just unfortunately knocked the tire off there in the final. But if Belushi keeps driving like that, he is not going to be winless this year.
For sure. And you talk about Jordan Lake's car, and that's the winningest Pro Mod in NHRA history that he's driving. It's won more championships and more races than any other car in competition ever. And when it goes down a track, it's just fast. You saw that thing go 254 miles an hour. I thought he did a good job driving it. To not drive more than he does, I think he did good. Belushi did a killer job. Personette and Savage are killing it. They're going to continue to be a pain in everyone's side. I mean, it's going to be good. And Brad Furman's got a comment up about NHRA once again dropping the ball on track prep. I don't understand. We used to have very consistent track prep, whether it was shit or good or really good. It was kind of always the same. It really seems to be all over the place. I don't know what's happening there. I do know that the inability of the greatest sanctioning body in the world to get the timing system working correctly from a standpoint of competition is very embarrassing. Like, as a sanctioning body in motorsport, your job is to measure time and performance of vehicles. When you can't do that over the course of a race weekend, that's bad. I'm not saying you're not going to have an anomaly, but Dimitri should have been qualified number 1 after the first session. That's the type of stuff that alters the outcome of a race. Yeah. So he goes up. He's supposed to be number 1. He's number 2 because he only went 38 miles an hour. Went 578 at 38 miles an hour. And then again, you have lane choice decided later in the races because of mile per hour being 28, 38 miles an hour, 48 miles an hour. They got to get the clocks working. Like if we're gonna call ourselves the best, we got to get the clocks working. That's gonna get me in some shit. That's the truth.
Honestly, and that's it. That we could do a whole segment on that stuff because at Flow we deal with that with even getting allowed to put live timing on our streams and the hoops we had to jump through and the issues that we have with it and the inaccuracies of it. Like honestly, Tyler coming on here in a minute could probably give us a little inkling on that because I know he works very closely with Brock and all of that. But it's a whole ass thing, and it's like a weird monopoly. It's just a weird deal.
Well, and I don't know if I'm sure y'all probably saw it, but Sunday morning we had E1 at 9:15, which was before pre-race ceremonies, driver introductions, and the whole 9 yards. Dwayne Wolf had a very unfortunate mechanical failure. It literally exploded the rear end, gear oiled the entire racetrack. It was like an hour's worth of time or something like that. And again, I'm not probably get a talking to. I'm not saying that they did it, but what it appeared and the way that I personally felt was we got taken out of driver introductions, and they I felt blackballed the rest of the day. Now, was that intentional, or did it just happen because of the scheduling and TV? Maybe so.
It did.
But in E2, did we not get track prep prior to our round because they were like, they oiled the track down today and fuck the rest of the schedule, so we're not. That's the way I felt.
I don't think they think enough during the day to do that, but I will say y'all weren't the only ones that got next. Like our whole driver intros got next.
It chapped my ass because I went out there and look, I don't toot my own horn much, but I drove really well in Chicago.
Yes, you did.
I made 6 runs down the racetrack. My average reaction time was 0.16. And when I shook the tires and lost an E2, I was 0.06 letting go.
Yep.
And it chapped my ass that they didn't prep the track before we ran, because I felt like regardless of performance, I was driving good enough to win the race. And I didn't, and like it ended my day, and I've
rarely seen driving performances like that. When you're on, you know it, you're on, and you were on.
And I couldn't. I told Foster on the way back from E1, I said, I can do anything I want in there and not fuck up today. And but whatever. But I felt like we got blackballed for the day.
Them too much credit to think that they in a hurry up and fix would do something malicious. Is it out of the spectrum? No, but I think it was just panic mode, because I can tell you right before driver intro, that was panic mode of like, oh my God, are we going to get it? Then having to cancel all the pro driver intro. Like that's a big deal to be able to do that. So, and they got it together, and we were only like 4 minutes behind on the first nitro start. So I don't know, maybe I go there too much and I drink the Kool-Aid, but I think it was just happenstantial.
Yeah. And Jimmy Owen says gear is the most difficult to clean up. And I understand that, and like, obviously Dwayne Wolf wasn't like, watch me fuck schedule up today, boy.
Right.
I'm about to fuck, like, no, man. But, and it, as good as they've been to us as the class and including us in some stuff, it sucked for that to happen and us to kind of look like the bad guys, but I mean, it happens.
You got it together. It happens. It's pro mod. It's just like when they run alcohol before, like shit happens. You gotta know that there's that option. And whenever you guys got bumped from Saturday night round 1 to wanting to race on Sunday, I know some people were upset of going to the driver intro, but I even voiced up in that deal and I said, hey, that you wanted this, you got to kind of figure out where and when to fit it in. Can they do it right after there? No, because that's the schedule that they already have. So that's a whole nother conversation too. But going before driver intros and opening ceremonies is a risky deal.
Yep.
It is. And give or take, you got to give and take. They have a schedule. They have a TV window they got to hit. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes as competitors that we don't know. And I can tell you that they seem to always want to try to get it right. I would rather race E1 before driver intros than race E1 on Saturday night.
Yeah,
and sometimes we're faced with that decision. The only thing that sucks about running on Sunday is it's early, which is tough, but you got a good racetrack, good weather, and you do not have to pack up and go home Sunday night. Saturday night.
Everybody races on Sunday, but anyway.
But anyways, in Pro Mod, 24 cars. I believe Eric Dillard won the race, right?
Yep. The field was but when qualifying concluded, the field was within a 10th, which I thought was pretty good.
Yep.
It was tight, and it was good. Considering what the track dealt with and the weather early in the week and whatnot, I thought it was pretty good.
So this is 2 out of 3, I think, for the Pro Chargers this year. They appear to definitely be getting the off-season bugs out of the way, and you guys are hauling butt. It's going to be awesome to see. I predict screw blowers and roots blowers run the ET in qualifying, and Epping. We'll see what happens on race day. I think the air will be good enough; it will push them over the edge, and you'll see the same type of dominant performance the other way. I don't know with the supercharger and the screw blower at 60 over if you'll ever get it to run in the middle in good and bad conditions. Just like in Bristol, the Pro Charger is going to wax the screw blower. Like it's going to beat it like a dog. But I guess as long as it averages out and evens out, I guess it's good.
Yep. But AB1 top fuel?
Yep. AB1 top fuel. Driving joker, buddy. That's a hungry driving joker over there.
Hagen won number 7.
Try to get him on the show. We're gonna have him soon.
We're gonna get AB. He's been busy with the AB team ownership. We're gonna get him.
That was Hagen's 75th, yeah.
51st?
No.
He just won 50.
Or 50th?
He just won 50. I thought because him and Erica were racing to 50.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was his 51st.
Anyway, Hagen wins again.
Hagen wins again. Dallas wins.
Gage Herrera is
Herrera. Again,
I mean,
we could do a whole show on this deal.
Christ, man.
I love him. He's
I do too.
Great for the
I do
sport.
too.
It's tough to.
I'm glad I'm not racing pro stock motorcycle right now.
It's tough, man.
And he didn't qualify number one.
Unlike Pro Mod, there's like if like some person keeps winning over here, everybody bitches and cries about the rules and the power adders. Over there, y'all all got the same shit. So,
yeah. And if they penalizes everyone else.
You. And I wouldn't want to be racing pro stock motorcycle right now.
Matt Smith and them are catching up.
They're going to catch them.
They were catching up.
So, well, that's one thing. You teach somebody how to do it long enough, they'll definitely learn.
Listen, Gage, this is no disrespect to you, man. We just want to see a little bit of heat.
Just keep giving it to them. I like it.
But also, pure domination is pretty fucking.
Keep on giving it to them. All right. Anything else on NHRA Chicago? I'm excited about this guest we got about to hop on.
Last thing on that, I guess, would just be the only thing we didn't cover was the call out. Really cool. What I think as we smash NHRA, something that they do right is when a specific class has a shootout or a call out like that, they give it love. We had our own 30-minute TV show. They gave us a lot of cool attention. TJ Coughlin's wife got to sing the national anthem separate for that. She did a killer job. The attention that they gave to us and the attention that the fans had for that was absolutely amazing. And maybe we can get into some behind the scenes drama that happened after Tyler, because I got some shit.
I can't wait.
Yeah?
Erica's going to tell us?
Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm going to tell you.
Okay. I didn't know if this was part of your new wholesome person or if you still like to
smile real big. Are your teeth purple yet?
Yeah. Oh, no.
They will be. They will be. Don't you worry. By the time we get to when I talk about this later, if Erica sticks around, yeah, we'll be all right.
Okay. We're going to see. We're going to see if we can get this new wholesome Courtney and get her head back down the hill of destruction.
Fuck you and your wholesome shit. Is that better?
Okay.
All right.
I'm so sorry. I put this on flow today. I am a good professional gal.
Yeah, I hear you. So at least there's still seed of devastation in there. All right. NHRA Chicago under the books, in the books. We'll get on to some NHRA Epping and some no prep and some Brazilian racing later, but we've been trying to get this guy on for a little while. I've known him since I felt like we were both little kids, even though he was a little kid more than me. He's grown up in the sport, doing a great job. Proud of him. How about welcome Tyler Crossnoe?
There he is.
Crossnoe.
What's up?
Screen. What's up, Crossbow?
Man, don't know, baby.
Tyler, you got a little scruff coming in there, bud.
Yeah, aren't you proud?
Yeah, he's finally old enough to start growing that stuff in there.
Yeah, finally. I haven't got to the full Lyle thing yet, but
you'll get there, bud. You start losing it back through here, and it just starts growing down
as
here.
long as I don't lose it here, we're good, baby.
When you get to 40, the hairline starting marching backwards and the belly starts marching out.
That's right.
Just get ready, baby. Get ready.
The last time you saw Tyler, but he's still about that big around.
That big around.
Yep. If you guys don't know Tyler, Tyler is the Rain Man. He is the one, if you ever are having a drought, if you live in the desert, if you have ever studied cloud seeding, if y'all wanted to farm in Arizona, you would get Tyler to come run your track, and it would biblically rain. You would see an arc, and crops would grow.
That's a fact.
What? The drag race would finish.
It would.
But they would finish, and the track would be on point. So tell the fans a little bit about yourself. Some folks obviously know you, some don't. Who are you? Where you come from? What do you do?
Like you said, man, I've been knowing most of Stevie and Lyle in here longer than Courtney, but I feel like I've been spending more time with Courtney than you two lately. But
I would too.
I
don't know if it's by choice.
It's not a hard argument, but yeah, my name's Lyle Crossnoe. Currently, I am the vice president of Virginia Motorsports Park and series director of the Pdra Racing Series, and pretty much just rocking and rolling through the world of motorsports. Grew up in it from little bitty to all the way to now. So still a kid in this mess like we all are, but at the same time, we all love our sport and live it and breathe it, and we like to talk shit about it too. Let's just be honest.
It's easy to do.
I think before we even get into anything official and anybody starts all the things, if you don't know Tyler Crossnoe, and y'all can probably agree, one of the under the radar, hardest working, most shit given person in drag racing?
When I met Tyler,
I was going to say, Stevie's going to have some good stories here.
okay, so when I met Tyler, Radio versus the World was just exploding. We were looking for a racetrack that could cater and handle the type of power that we were starting to make. And there weren't a lot of them. Like everybody's got great sticky racetracks now and has it all figured out. Well, it didn't start out like that. Mm-hmm. Like guys like Tyler and Jabbo had to go figure it out. I met Tyler at Holly Springs. I'll never forget. We get there in the middle of the night. Jabbo comes up in an old Cadillac, and he tells me this guy's prepping the track. And I'm like, this guy is 12 and needs to be mowing the lawn.
I just got off the lawnmower.
Yep. And they took a racetrack that, when you look at it from the outside, didn't look capable of handling what we were trying to do. And they, what I believe, instituted the first RVW prep. Like, that's where we went to test. I would leave Augusta, Georgia, and drive to Mississippi to test my RVW car, which out back then was an outlaw drag radio car that was starting to morph into it. Yep. But you guys, I believe, birthed the radial tire track prep. And I'm not saying you were the first ones to do it, but you were the first ones I saw experimenting outside the box with different glue, mixing shit. I never forget Jabbo's hand sprayer out there. He'd walk around with the wheels and stuff on.
Yep.
So that's when I met you. How old were you then?
I was 18 then.
18 years old, and basically running a track. I could tell you all kinds of stories about that, but those were the good old days.
Those were, I say it all the time. And we're all the world's worst. We're the worst sport of thinking in the past. But if we could bottle those times up and bring it to right now and just our modernized stuff, but that fun time, my God, those were the best days.
It was the best days because people were not soft-skinned.
Yep.
People could handle insult without crying and attacking your family on the internet. If you got out of line, you got your ass beat, and then you shook hands and had a beer afterwards.
Yep.
Okay.
Twice sometimes.
Right. And the amount of money we were spending to do it was not life altering.
Correct.
You could go buy a top of the field car for $100,000, and that's snooter to pooter. That's motor transmission. I'm talking about that's top notch shit. I mean, when we were racing back then, a $20,000 or $30,000 chassis was an expensive piece. I mean, I had $22,000 in the orange car in the car then.
Yep.
Like the whole car, like not counting the motor and the transmission, but $22,000 in the car, and we built it. So like you could race and you did not have to have 3 mortgages on your house. We were just getting power. And that was some of the most fun time of racing I've ever had. Like
it was up until when Jabbo passed away, we would still at least once a month would get on the phone and we would talk about those days. Just who would fight to park underneath the tree. So well, you had the shade, like all that shit. And man, I can tell you, it was, I look back on those times and I go, man, that's where we all got to know each other and all had a good time with this thing. And like
Kenny Hubbard,
it was so much less stressful.
Kenny Hubbard first to the 420s.
Yep.
I still have the postcard that he signed for me talking shit on my refrigerator right out here. It's right out here because he was the first one to the 20s. He signed a postcard basically saying, "Kiss my tail, I got it." And that's when Kenny was wild. Everybody knows Kenny now is this nice guy who cooks egg rolls. I remember Kenny Hubbard fighting and beating the shit out of people and
throwing an egg roll at your ass.
Kenny Hubbard is a badass. He's one of them quiet ones that you don't mess around with. And if you do, you'll find out why. But those were the good old days, man. I remember taking a picture at the front of Holly Springs with all of our 420 cars stacked all the way across there. You had to be a badass to be in the 420.
Remember, it was you, Fiskus, Kyle Utel, and Kenny Hubbard. And
Yep.
We came up for the quarters. Yep. And you guys all had lane choice and were the first cars in the front of the lanes. And it was like, this is like, you got to take this picture. This is badass.
Yeah, it was, that was the stuff. And I've said this story many times, but you were there. That the run that changed my whole career, the run that changed my entire trajectory was made at Holly Springs. When we went 419, I drove through the night to go make a test run. We came and tested. We went 419 on a test day that nothing mattered. There was no event going on, but that one run made Stevie Fast. That one run put me on the international map. It got that car sold and got me my first driving job. That one run at that one track, that one day that didn't matter. So if you guys ever see something spectacular happened in racing, I promise you that one run can change your whole life. Like, I promise you, that one run changed my whole life.
I can remember I was still living at home, which was like an hour and a half north of Holly Springs at the time. And Jabbo called me and he goes, "Hey, you need to get down here. Stevie's on the way." I was like, "What the hell is Stevie doing in the middle? Like, what are we doing?" He goes, "Just get down here. We got to prep the racetrack. He's got to make one run." I'm like, "Really? One run? Thanks, Jabbo. Thanks for that pressure." And we balled up on all our shit and got it done. And about that time you pulled in, I'm like, "All right, we either sucked or we didn't."
Is that all you made was one?
No kidding. No,
yeah.
No,
not that day. So we went there. We had one run to do it. So we went out there and we were trying to go teens. We went 26, 23, and 21. And then I spun the tires twice.
That's right.
End of the day. There was one shot left to go. And back then I had to go home and go to work the next day. Like, I worked a job. I worked at Pontiac as a master technician. So I was like, all right, we got one more shot to do it. And I'll be damned if it didn't run 19. Like, I'm telling you, the world fell apart. That thing, I still got a picture of it sitting on the scales, 3,386 pounds on an old 325 tire.
I was fixing on that old POS tire. Yep.
That's getting it. I mean, that was fast.
Yep.
186 miles an hour in a car with roll-up windows and tagging insurance. No way I'd drive no shit like that now.
And what's bad is that, you would. Yeah, first off, take that back. And what's bad is Lyle and I met at Holly Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, that place has got a lot of history.
Me and
a lot of beers drank at it.
I decided on a Tuesday or a Wednesday night. I was in college, and I wrote my professor an email and said that I raced semi-professionally and that I had to go race. And he responded back with, "You should get your priorities in line, but your project still do," whatever it was. And I called one of my buddies. I was like, "How fast can you be to Charlotte?" And he said, "Whatever." And I was literally waiting in the gas station parking lot. We parked his car, left it at the gas station, and drove all the way through the night to Holly Springs. I showed up the next day. Yep. I think, Stevie, you tuned the Goose that weekend. Like, I just came over with a laptop. You would tune on it, and I went back over there, qualified number one, and then the whole gear. We didn't know anything at that time about keeping bolts tight. Yeah. And the gear drive and everything fell off of the front of the motor and it cut off. Yep, and I lost.
I forgot that.
Yep, and I lost. Qualified number one, lost because the whole gear drive fell off the front of the motor.
Hey, everything fell off in those days. You had no idea about maintenance. I ran one time, come back, and the intake gaskets are out of it. So, like, the intake was loose, and it just blew the intake gaskets out, and I got crushed. I mean, that was hot rod racing back then. It was fun. It was gritty.
You know what's fun is, like, we would do dumb shit like that, and, like, we would go, well, shit. Nowadays, you're beating the paint off the trailer whenever you do some stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely much more serious than what it used to be.
Yep.
But that's where I first met Tyler. Since then, you've left there, and now you're at VMP, which is a much bigger job. You got the big job now. Yeah, that's a full-time gig. It looks like
you got a couple big boy jobs.
Got a couple big ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was. Hey, hang on just a second. Get an Amazon package. You can just sit it right there.
It's probably for me.
It probably is, actually. Tyler. Yep. Thank you.
Man,
my man's working hard at 8:15 at night.
No, I was just gonna say, no shit.
I'm still at they're making it happen.
Yep.
So tell us what it's like being the director of a racetrack. Like, what is it like when it's all on your shoes or all on your shoulders?
It's very stressful. We actually had this conversation earlier today. Actually, we're a couple of weeks away from getting our first national event back. Since took year off in 23, we're a couple of weeks away, and we were talking about it earlier. And it's just like, it's a lot of stress just thinking about everything. It's like, you don't think about little things on certain weekends, but like an event like that, it's like, oh, did we remember to paint the walls? Did we cut the grass under the grandstands? Did we, you just think of every little minute thing that somebody could point out on camera and go, oh, hey, that looks like shit. And you try to eliminate all those that looks like shit moments.
And if you've ever been to VMP, there's a lot of fucking grass to cut there.
Hell yeah.
Like a lot.
Y'all leave that there to produce oxygen for the cars.
Holy
Hey,
shit.
I will say that we could probably change the air if we wouldn't cut the grass for 2 weeks. There's no doubt about it.
So how much more stress when you mentioned that, and I was going to get that a little later, we'll talk about it now. How much more stress is it for you when a national event comes in like NHRA, national TV, live TV deal versus a normal event? I mean, I know you there's got to be more, but how much more preparation on your end goes into that?
Same thing, just a lot more little detail work. If I'm always really weird about grass. Lyle knows this, but I'm very weird about making sure everything's cut when somebody comes in and all that. But, on a regular weekend, hey, don't worry about the RV side. We're not sending an RV guy over there. But with an event like that, it is so big. People that don't know, we have 500 acres here. And I would say probably 250, 300 is still grass or wooded or something like that. And it's like, whoo, that's a lot of green.
So much.
But it is... I'm not going to say it's more stressful just because you put more pressure on yourself. And everybody in here knows me. I'm very, very detail oriented, and I put a lot of pressure on myself if it's not the way that I wanted it to be.
He's on the same spectrum the rest of us are on in this call here.
Yeah, we're all very, from race cars to what we do as a job to anything else. It's all the little things add up, and there you can forget 5 little things, and a big thing can go down the drain. But at the same time, as long as they all work together, it seems to pay off. And an event like an NHRA national event, NHRA brings in so many people that it takes a lot of pressure off. I'll be honest. The biggest fears for me, as bad as I hate to say it, is the biggest fears are, does a timing system fail?
The infrastructure,
you
right?
can't fix.
Infrastructure.
Does a toilet come out of the ground, break a water main? You have a problem that you can't fix. Those major moves that are like, oh my God, we can't fix this in 15 minutes, or we don't have a spare for that or anything like that. So for me, that's probably my biggest fears in events, but it's all in preparing whenever you start these things and come in with everything as covered as you can. And hey, you just hope and pray it all stays according to plan.
But it's like Don posted, it's taking pride in your work. It's
100%.
caring about it, and it's attention to detail.
Yep.
And that's what makes it. That's what makes it work.
As bad as it sounds, you just got to give a shit.
You just got to give a shit. Hey, all businesses, if you're a business owner and you're watching a Shake and Bake show, just give a shit.
That's it.
Go out there and make a part and put it on the shelf. Just sell it to us. Courtney,
while we're talking about NHRA stuff, how far, and protect whatever you need to protect here, but how far can you go into explaining why it didn't come back? How it
I knew that that's the evil Courtney throwing. Well,
y'all wanted it. Here she
lure in front of you,
and she's back.
And then you can kind of kindly end on the 2-day national event and how that transpired. So give us a little road valley.
Yeah. So when I came into VMP, that was 2019. They had already had the national event here for a year. There was a 5-year contract signed. The first event was in 2018. I think that was the first one in, oh, good Lord. Steve, you may know this more now than I do. I think it was like 8, 10, 12 years.
I think it was more than that.
It was a long time.
Yeah.
From the time between those two. And it was, I'll say, the businesses around were bought in. Everybody was bought into the national event. Schools closed. Yep. The buses, like everything shut down. And it was like, national event. That was all that was going on. It was a huge crowd. And
was it the number that I remember, and I could be off by zeros, but what I remember, the impact study to Colonial Heights and to the Richmond area was in excess of $50 million.
It was high. I don't know the exact number on that one. That was the
lot. It's not 3 million.
Exactly. Yeah. Those events bring in so much for the tourism side. And as weird as we all think about it, that pack of bubble gum you bought at the gas station counts. That tank of fuel you got counts. The food we go eat at night counts. All of that counts on those tourism deals.
The 25 Strombolis that I get at Giuseppe's.
At Giuseppe's, yeah.
Giuseppe's has their best, yeah.
Giuseppe's hates it when we're closed, for sure. But so I came in 2019. That was my first national event, and I knew coming into it, it wasn't a huge raging success in 2018. It looked it from the outside, but from the backside, it was not all there. So coming into 19, I was like, all right, what do we change? How do you duck and jive and try to make it better? And of course, you don't have that high of we're back.
Right.
So of course, ticket sales plummet a little bit. Everything kind of looks different, and oh boy, this doesn't look good. I'll probably one of the only people on planet Earth that will say COVID for us was the best thing that could have happened.
Right.
Because in 2020, we weren't able to host the event. And then again in 2021, we still had so many restrictions we couldn't have. There was no possible way to be able to do it. And kind of reset and all that. And then going into the last year, the contract was 2022. And got through that one as best we could. Fought rain for 2 days. Just a mess of a national event. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, see caption below. But that was a tough one. You knew coming in it was going to be hard from the racetrack side, just from the way the whole thing was. And really, it was one of those deals where you just sit back and you go, damn, just get through it. Try to make the rest of the 51 weeks as best as you can to dig out of the hole. And really, that was a hard way for not only myself, who really was just holding the keys, but for the Franklins and for everybody else involved in the company. It was just a hard way to go about the entire year. It was hard to stay motivated. It was hard to stay, all right, we're upbeat. We're just going to beat this thing and all that. So after the event, we just kind of had to say, hey guys, we've got to survive ourselves. We need to back up and punt, and we can't do it in 23. And it was hard. Trust me. Oh boy. As many emails and phone calls and screw yous, and you can go jump in the lake and all that stuff we got. Oh boy. I was thinking about climbing the water tower out front, like just to see what that view looked like.
But at the end of the day, the racetrack is a business. The business has to be able to survive, and they need to be able to make an equal share when a national event comes to town. And you shouldn't have to be shy about saying that.
Yeah. And
you guys are working the other 348 days a year.
Yep. Those things are, and I was just at Norwalk, and Bill is probably the one that I've learned this from, is the events like that, they start Tuesday after settlement's over. The next one starts Tuesday after. Settlement's Monday, the next one starts on Tuesday. And those are hard races to plan and to do the traffic plans and all that stuff, and know it going in that it's just like, you're going to get your teeth kicked in. This isn't fun. And then if you have bad weather, oh boy, like that's going to really get worse. So we just had to back up and punt, and it was hard, like I said. But we set out the 2023 season, and then towards the, I'm going to say middle part of the year, phone started ringing, and people were asking, hey, kind of what's going on and blah, blah, blah. And, NHRA called Tommy and said, hey, would you be interested in talking? And that's kind of where it started.
Probably gave you a little bit more of a negotiating factor, if you will.
It did. I will say.
I thought before I spoke there.
Of course. But you worry about like people in the industry that are on the same wavelength as you. Hey, you just walked in there and said, see ya. Like, are you going to be blackballed as a racetrack? Or are you going to be the one that's, oh man, they just said bye? Are all your peers now going to look at you differently? And honestly, I think we gained, I think it was the other direction. I think we gained a lot of respect from a lot of people, and man, it was really a conversation that was completely different. And I can say I'm excited to have the national event back this year. The 2-day schedule, I'll be honest, from a guy who fights weather, I'm going, oh baby, I would have done that on Friday and Saturday. But from a race fan perspective, oh my God, this thing can be, if it's 2 days of great weather, it will probably be the most jam-packed 2 days of NHRA racing that's ever been seen yet. And I think it'll be a great show for fans. Of course, there's positives and negatives from a facility standpoint. You worry, what does your food and beverage look like? What does food and beverage look like? What does weekend passes? What does RV sales? What do suite sales? How does all that look with only 2 days of nitro? And I think we all are wondering, what does it look like from a racer standpoint? What does it look like for you guys? Like, hey, when do we get to town? Should we get there when we normally do? Should we come in a day late? Like, it's like, what do you do?
About Saturday.
I'll be there Sunday morning before driver intro.
Exactly.
No, it's not racing on Sunday, so you'll get there and it won't even be there.
I wish it was. I wish it was Friday, Saturday, but it's Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
You even made me just double think.
Oh, I thought it was. So
Sorry.
it's not Friday, Saturday.
No, it's
No,
See,
it's
I thought
Saturday,
it was-
Sunday. See?
no.
I would have had it Friday, Saturday, baby.
So I'm at and everybody in here knows our racetrack is lit by Musco LEDs, and we can do music with lights and all of that. So
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, 2-day schedule means we're going to race under the lights.
But
I don't know.
Sportsman guys on Friday with
Yeah.
Nitro show happening there, so it's a 3-day race for sportsmen, right?
Correct.
Yes,
So,
but
Pro Mod
pros
runs
are-
Friday and Saturday, and then
And
I
we
think
run
Pro
3.
Mod qualifies Friday night at 5. I think
Yes,
that's the
which
end
makes
cap
it
on
really
Friday.
cool. But I hope that NHRA puts effort into posting
Yes.
and not saying, like, hey, we don't get to town until Friday or still Saturday. Anyway.
or you won't get there till Saturday night. You'll be snow skiing in Winnipeg while that's happening. But
I
as
don't
soon
even
as
know
you
where
get
that is.
Not
back,
wrong.
it's a on.
But this is the first time that NHRA has tried the professional 3 qualifiers in one day. And I honestly think, I'm not just saying this because you're on the show. I've said this a million other times in a million other sanctioning bodies, but Virginia Motorsports Park is one of the nicest facilities in the country. From track to shitters, right? Like, it's just one of the nicest places. And so I think, yep.
That's
So-
new.
On the sign. That should be the sign.
I cannot claim that as my own saying. I will, but I heard it from Chuck Ford.
Oh, what are you drinking, Tyler?
Snooter to Putter.
Sponsored by Michelob tonight.
See, you always have to know.
So that's a Chuck Ford exclusive trademark. Anyways, so but at the end of the day, with you being the first one to do this, you're not going to know until Monday morning how it
You
worked
don't
out.
know. Yep, you don't.
You'll have a good idea on Friday, but if you put the same amount of people in the deal and condense the show and make it more exciting, maybe it's great. I mean, we don't know. We just don't.
We don't know. And I'm always the one that's okay being outside the box. I like being the one that does stuff different every now and then, just for the way of, let's be honest, it can sometimes get pretty stale of, damn, it's the same old thing. That is Alaska. I'll be damn, I didn't think about that. But, it can get kind of stale at times. And sometimes the box needs to be shook up, and I'm okay hosting that here because I think that'll be really cool for everybody involved. Very true.
So Molly said that we got to have the parental advisory for any Chuck Ford exclusives. Right now, y'all don't know this. I'm probably not supposed to say this. I'm getting in trouble. Chuck Ford's probably sitting in a tree. He had a unauthorized drone flying around the old CFH property the other day with a little camera on it. I don't know if they're trying to get a picture of the blower opening or the blower dyno or something, but next time it shows up, the FAA is going to have to launch an investigation.
Drone down.
Ready. Well, that's exciting, man. I've been trying to test at VMP for like a year.
Yes.
We were today.
I'm supposed to be at VMP now,
Today.
like at the tower, and the
We were
weather.
supposed to film this together.
Yeah,
We
I
were
thought we
gonna-
were going to be on a casting couch together.
Well, we were. Well, kind of different couch, but not like the couch me and you were on in Bradenton. Not like that type of couch.
Easy killer.
But easy. Sorry there, Canadian. But the
Hey.
rain continues to kill me. Hey.
Is it raining there right now, Tyler?
It rained its ass off yesterday for like 8 hours out of 10 that I was here, and freaking tore a racetrack up. So
I feel like I wake up every morning to a Snapchat of Tyler in a rainy tractor.
it's like click up,
Yeah.
going to work. Click up.
Did you see the meme 00 shit show put up with all of us with rain jackets on?
I have to
That
say
was
that was the
awesome.
greatest
I
thing I've seen.
About fell out of my chair when I seen that.
He
No,
texted me and said, if y'all don't have rain jackets on when he gets on, like, you're missing.
Oh, damn it. I didn't think about that.
I almost went and got an umbrella and just held an umbrella when I came in on the intro. I'm not gonna lie.
It's ridiculous.
Um,
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna bullshit.
Well, I was gonna kind of transition into his other hat if we're done with the NHRA.
Yeah.
side.
So let's get into the shorter 8 mile section of his other job.
Yeah, Mr. 17 Hats, Tyler Crossnoe, the other half of your life. the director of the PDRA. But like this year, you actually get to sit back and watch, huh? It's a little bit different.
It is different. We have expanded our staff a little bit and kind of kicked the keys over a little bit in certain things. I'm enjoying that a lot. But being able to sit back and see things in a different way. Like this weekend, we had a good race. This past weekend, we had a good race up at Norwalk. Gavin Carter did an excellent job running the event. He's also here at Virginia now as track manager. So being able for me to sit back and kind of see things at a little bit different angle. I learned a lot at Norwalk and really didn't even do anything. Just being able to, everything to me, if you can sit back and watch your product, you're only going to get better at it. And, it's just like it's Stevie's case of sitting back watching a carbon on a racetrack. If he can't watch it, he's going to get better, but it's going to take 3 more laps. Where same thing, Lyle looks at the tree and somehow can feel the electricity come on and the LED bulb.
Because he doesn't have anything blocking it. He can see it a little bit better. He doesn't have
Touché.
Well, fucking try it.
If that's what it takes, maybe I'm in.
Oh, wow. Come show us how to do it if that's what you think.
There ain't nothing between you and no eyebrows but air and opportunity. So grab your fucking razor, shave them cocksuckers off.
Come show us how to
go find you a Christmas tree and rip loose. If you ain't no better, it sucks to fucking suck.
Hey, there's 25
of yours, Barnett.
I love
Excuse
it when
me?
people that can't drive tell
that.
me how to drive. I love it when folks that can't drive a nail tell me how to drive a race car.
Yeah. What's in that cup? 110 octane and some good shit, apparently.
That's some truth serum right there. Some factual information is leaking out.
That's a fact. I like that.
So, Tyler, can you tell us a little bit about the people that take to Facebook and the internet to just try to crucify you over some bullshit that goes on?
Before we get to that, I want to ask a question that's going to lead into that.
Okay.
Because I want to step real quick. We had a bunch
Did
of
Lyle
comments.
just get bumped?
No, he didn't get bumped. I'm
qualifying?
going to lead him into it. Because I'm excited about PDRA and I don't want to step back to this.
Okay.
Do you feel like how much influence will you have with track prep when the national event is there? NHRA. And do you feel like it hurts your product because no one will know your racetrack like you?
I will say the race in 22 when we had a lot of weather. We did have a lot of conversations because everybody knows we've fought this place with rain at times, and sometimes it'll rain and it's absolutely perfect. Other times it'll rain and it's absolutely hell. So
but you believe, and I believe, nobody can get your racetrack back in shape after rain like you.
Yes. Between myself and my team, I will 100% agree.
No one knows your track like you.
Yep.
So with that said, speaking about outside opinion, now take it away, Lyle. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Ask that again.
I just have noticed over the course of the year that either leading up to, immediately following, maybe amidst a rule change or something, it is just like, well, you don't get crucified because you don't give a fuck, which I like.
He does though. He gets it.
But like, why? I don't. What is is it a group? Like, I'm just gonna get out there and say it. Here recently, I feel like the Extreme Pro Stock guys have just been on the chip.
I've wondered if they've been like staying up late or something.
Yeah, they got a group text for sure.
I don't know, man. Like, I just don't get it. I feel like it's pretty good. I mean, the Pro Boost guys can't bitch a bit because that's really good racing going on over there. And
that's insane racing is what
you can just either you either do or you do not drive over there, and that is what it is.
Or you do drive and just get out drove. It's insane.
Yeah. And
flat out stupid.
I hate to see, and maybe it's not. Maybe I'm not paying attention enough, but I hate to see. I feel like Pro Nitrous is kind of falling off just a touch.
It's been tough.
And so that'll lead me to another. I didn't even let you comment. Well, do you want to comment on anything that I've asked?
I mean, I'll keep mine short. I'll say it's hard to not look at social media. I mean, let's be honest. I said it the other day. Somebody posted there was a rumor that a racer got DQ'd, and I got on there and said this is a complete false rumor. And my next comment was, this is one of the many reasons why I think social media is one of the worst things going right now.
I agree.
And it's not that it can't be good. I mean, let's be honest. How do a lot of us market events? But it's people that are, number one, you have no dog in the hunt. Number two, you weren't even there. Number three, if you were there, you were probably dealing with your stuff and you had no clue that tech was even happening or anything like that. But that's when I get frustrated, is when it's like, look, just stay in your lane. If it doesn't really bark up your tree, don't go trying to pick the bark. Like, I mean, it's just kind of like, you know what, stay in your lane and everything gets better. But I understand how I get it. I get it to a point, but at the same time, it's like, you know what, I have to just kind of back up most days and just say, look, focus on what we're trying to build, focus on what we're trying to work on, get better of your product. And if it continues and people still aren't happy with it, hey, we're doing the best we can do.
One,
Fuck 'em.
you care about the product you put out there. The PDRA has always been, in my opinion, the sanctioning body that is for the racer, right? Built by the racer, for the racer. So you have to be open, and always have been, even a driver meeting. Guys, if those of you that are in the comments, I see you were there, you heard it. He gets in front of people and says, open floor. What can we do? There's obviously things we can improve. Here's it from them. So I feel you in a sense of why you go and read this stuff and take it to heart because you give a shit. But at the end of the day, also, to glass Courtney in, like, they can put their own fucking race on, right? Like, if they don't agree with things that are going on with tech or the way that you run race day or priority of front gate versus back gate, which we can get into if you want to, but there's decisions you make. And I feel like you've always made decisions for the racer, and things may be transitioning to where we're going for the show nowadays. But like, people just don't understand the craziness and the weight on your shoulders and all the different ways that you're being pulled. And this guy cares. So when you go on the internet and say the shit, like, Tyler Crossnoe takes it personally, right?
Yeah, it's hard not to. And as bad as this is going to sound, it's kind of consider the source. At times, if there's 10 comments made and all 10 are the same direction, hey, you know what? That guy's just mad at life. If there's one person that's usually pretty positive and speaks up and says, hey, something's wrong, you might want to listen. Courtney, like you said, we had a drivers meeting Thursday with Pro Nitrous, Pro Boost, and Pro Stock drivers that were able to make it. And trust me, I was standing in front of them and I went, all right, open floor. And then as soon as I said it, I went, oh shit, I just said open floor. But it was cool. But it was cool to hear what everybody's thinking. You don't know until you don't know.
Right. That's a good thing. We do this sometimes in NHRA drivers meetings. We will basically, to put any bullshit to bed, I'll say, okay, this is what's happening. Does anybody have anything to say? If you don't have anything to say, do not talk any shit about it on the internet when we leave here. If you don't have the balls to talk about it right now, it's not a problem. And I think that's a good thing that you do that.
And sometimes you just need to sit down with everybody and just say, hey, let's talk like a group. Like, we're all adults here. We all have the same goal. Let's be honest.
Everybody's spending time and money.
If we all don't have the same goal, we're all not pulling in the parking lot. Whether it's a PDRA race, whether it's an NHRA Pro Mod race, whether it's whatever, a dirt track race that's on flow, whatever it may be. If we're all pulling in the parking lot together, we've all got the same common goal. Whether we're racing the same weekend as NHRA Pro Mod, we all still have the same goal. And whether it's racers or race directors or the fly that just jumped up in Courtney's grill, one of the three, doesn't matter. It's always something that we're looking out for the sport. And we all want to see success, because if we don't see success, it's going to be hard for all of us to continue doing what we're doing. And I mean, to be honest, we all have race cars and like to race. And damn, I don't want to have a really expensive garage ornament with nowhere to go.
Yeah, I like seeing the fans, the stands packed no matter what. I don't care. If there's a bunch of people in there, y'all have heard me say this a billion times, you get tired of hearing it. I'm okay if all of them hate me and all of them want to watch me lose, as long as they buy a ticket.
As long as they buy a ticket.
I don't give a shit.
Go ahead, Law.
No, you go ahead.
No, darling, you go ahead.
Do you see the opportunity to combine the Pro Nitrous and Pro Boost classes in the future? And do you think you guys could find a rule set that wouldn't completely cripple and cost the Pro Boost guys a bunch of money? Because at least from what I see, you would have to slow Pro Boost down 4 or 5 to make it competitive. And if Pro Nitrous car count continues to dwindle, is there opportunity to combine them and make one big class? I mean, I guess you would probably have to go to a 32 car field if you did that.
It's funny. We just had this conversation. Gavin and I had just had this conversation about this. I'll be open and honest. We worked on rules for shakedown yesterday in my office, and with that in mind, And let's be honest, at Shakedown, that's our time to put everybody together and let's see what all combinations do on the same floor. And they do it all at VMP in September. But that's that's always the question is, does it get to a point where you have to go that route? Does it get to a stage where, we've all seen car drivers are ducking and jiving and moving. And with I'll say this, and I think Stevie, you'll back me up on this one. I think you're kind of going the same direction I am. With the increase of the single race, big money races that are becoming popular, and seems to be more of them, a lot of people are looking at the combinations that are able to compete in both and being able to jump back and forth and run the big money races, whether it's in the winter at Bradenton or it's all across the country. Those races are enticing. Let's be honest. It's fun to go run for a race with 50 grand on the line. And does that kind of outweigh the series side of it? That's always a question and always a conversation.
But I will say this, car counts ebb and flow. I ran Pro Nitrous and I watched it go from 30 cars to 7.
Yep.
Then
you've seen it.
Right. It ebbs and flows. Anytime something gets hard, car count goes down, period. You're going to see Pro Boost car count dip. I promise.
Yep, it's coming.
When you have Todd Toro not qualifying at a Pro Boost race, when you have 500 separating the whole field, you will watch that people will find another place to race.
Yes.
Because they want to be competitive. That's any form of racing. That's pro stock. That's anything. If it gets extremely hard, you will lose the last third.
Mm-hmm. And we've all seen it. We've all seen it in every class.
Right. With that said, there's a lot to be said about the big money races. I believe. Okay, so this is going to get me shot at again. I've said this before.
It's fine.
By everyone. I am tired of everyone announcing that they're paying $150,000. That they're paying $100,000. You're not paying any money. The racers are putting up the money. I got a call about an LDR race yesterday. They want everybody to buy into a $2,500 deal and pay $35,000. And I'm like, are y'all crazy? Y'all are just giving the racetrack $10,000. They have no skin in the game. And they don't give a shit if your race sucks or not. Yep. So I like big money racing. But I believe we're in the beginning of it. It will level off, and it is harder for a touring series to have luster when there's a race that appears to the fan that the racetrack is paying $150,000.
It is. That's the hardest thing that we fight.
I hope that we at least wait another year to combine Pro Boost and Pro Nitrous.
At least.
That's just a selfish thing. I would just like for it to hopefully just stay the way that it is for a while.
Exactly. What's hard?
Run PDRA, and I had to sell it because my new shop's like $10 billion in the hole. But we're building another one already, and I want to come run the PDRA.
What's always been the fear, and I think everybody, I think all 3 of us or 4 of us in here know this. The fear is
3. Courtney don't know shit.
Not true. If Pro Nitrous goes away, what happens to Nitrous Pro Mod Racing?
It dies. It's done.
It dies. That's the biggest fear is if we give up on it, what happens to Nitrous Pro Mod Racing? And what's the, you think back to Pro Mod Racing from the beginning to now, there's always been Nitrous Pro Mods involved. There's always been the blowers and Nitrous rivalry and all that. And it gets so much smaller if that goes away.
Here's one thing I can promise you. The reason everything's a year or two behind from what's actually happening. Because it takes so long to get parts and build cars.
Yep.
I quit Pro Nitrous racing, not because I didn't love Pro Nitrous racing or I didn't know how to tune or win. I quit because of the cost. Yeah. Because at the time, a nitrous engine was $115,000, and you had to have 2 of them. Yep. And I could build a blower motor for $45,000, okay, and buy a lot of them. Screw blowers were $12,000 to $15,000. You could get them everywhere you wanted to, at any corner store. You could call anybody and buy a screw blower. And you could put that whole race car together for a couple $100,000 and go race.
Not anymore.
Well, now my blower motor costs what a nitrous motor costs because it's that advanced and it costs that much. The lead time is the same. You can't get a screw blower for the next 2 years.
I was just about to say you can't get a screw blower either.
You can't buy one. We have 5 on order. We continue to order them. We try to find them. If you have a screw blower, we're looking for them. We want to field screw blowing cars. With that said, that will push like a turnkey Pro Boost car is $500,000.
Yeah.
So like it costs no more now to go pro nitrous racing. I think you'll see. I'm not saying that you're going to get Pro Boost guys that quit and go build pro nitrous cars, but if you put it on paper, they don't cost anything anymore.
Yes.
Now everybody thinks that the nitrous maintenance is more. It's not at the front of Pro Boost. I promise you.
No, it's
If you're running top 10 in Pro Boost, you're working just as hard as those guys.
everybody's working hard at that level. And like you said, it's the amount of work that goes into all these things is insane right now. Whether it's 8 mile, quarter mile, whatever class it is, it's wild for sure.
I wanna transition a little positive stuff now.
That's positive. That was all positive.
I
No,
was
it is.
positive.
We were talking about the internet and all the things, but like the race we just came from, Tyler, I'm going to out you here. Tyler and I are friends. Like we work together really well on the flow and PDRA side, but we're also friends. And I think that you gave yourself a little bit too much shit. I think you were too hard on yourself about some things that happened this weekend. And so I kind of usually we would recap PDRA before you got on the show. So I want to recap this weekend because there was a lot of fucking positives that happened. There was a lot of drama, but a lot of positives that happened. And so diving into it, just first off, we led into with the Pro Boost stuff. Like, I mean, do you feel like that's right now the banner category at the PDRA?
It is 100%. Not taking anything away from Pro Nitrous, Pro Stock, Pro Street. No, not taking anything away from anybody else. If you have a brain and it says drag racing, you know what Pro Boost is, and you know what
I'm going to pull a Stevie. Timeout.
Oh boy, here we go.
Are you drinking water?
I'm flying to go race when we get done with the show because I want to do good in Epping. So the
Courtney's
Honky
such
Rocket.
a boring da. Anyway, Tyler.
Okay, you want me to get hammered and go fly airplane? That's against
No,
the
but I
FAA.
was just wondering, and I needed to call you out, so I had to pull
Okay.
Stevie. Anyway, Tyler, keep going.
I'm not drinking Welch's. I'm having a water.
Welcome to the Shake and Bake Show.
Can we go live for the flight, the drunk flight? That might be
I'll
entertaining.
not be drinking or flying any airplanes.
yeah.
8 hours.
Sorry.
Put that out there, FAA.
8 hours, follow the throttle.
This was my fault. Back to Pro Boost. PDR.
There's my pilot's license in jeopardy because of these dumbass.
Yeah. Sorry. Let's get off that subject.
Sorry about that 5 billion hours of training that you had.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Gone. But yes, the Pro Boost deal is 100% the flagship flag right now of PDRA. Not only is it the best racing that I feel like right now going, so many 0-0 margin of victories and eliminations, so many side-by-side races. The parity seems to be pretty close right now as well between combinations. It's just flat out really good racing. And the people that are involved are just good folks as well. They care, they give a damn. They want to win and they want to succeed, and that means a lot as well. So I think Pro Boost is definitely leading the charge right now, and it's got a lot of attention. Definitely one of the hottest things going in drag racing right now.
So we have King Tut wins the first race. King Tut doesn't qualify. King Tut wins the next.
First off, you lied to the man because you said you were done talking about that shit.
I did. Why do you pay attention to the things I say on Flow Racing?
Because I have to check. It's my job.
What, like
What
that?
I'm saying is you're full of shit and not telling you. Go ahead.
Absolutely, I'm a member of the media, but that right there, in my opinion, is the definition of the whole class. And y'all can give me shit for talking about him, but Spencer Hyde almost did the same thing.
Spencer almost did it. Yep.
Almost did the same thing. Like, it is so tough. You go out there and win a race and think that you have one up on something.
You don't have it.
You don't have shit.
I tell my guys all the time, we win a race, you don't have it. You just already had it back there.
You have it and you're
You have
done.
to go have it again.
It's going to take a long time to get it again, too.
The worst thing that ever happens in a racing team is when you think you got it. I just qualified number one at the last race. We got this shit figured out. Yeah, right.
No, but
It'll be a long
cool.
rest of the year.
That's cool to me to watch for Pro Boost because it's not, and again, I'm not talking shit on other classes, but in some of the other classes in Pro Stock, I mean, Johnny Placino just lost his first round of competition in the freaking season, and we're in the middle of the summer. And then, you got the Tommy and situation going on in Pro Nitrous. So I think that, and I've said this on the West Belk show, I've said it on the Flow Racing stuff, like, if you haven't paid attention to PDRA racing, or if you're not familiar with 8th Mile Pro Mod racing, watch Pro Boost and everything will change.
Matt, do you have the Derek Ward clip uploaded?
Matt just
If you want to know, he's not on here. Let me see if I can
That
find
was freaking.
If you want to know how difficult Pro Boost is, if I can find this clip, I'm gonna play it.
that one.
While you do that, and when you get it ready, cut us off and let us know. But I'm going to now transition into that. We'll go into like the pro stock stuff. We touched on it a little bit with some tech situations and rumors flying, but just go ahead and have your minute here to clarify what happened there.
There was too many people banging on a keyboard. 100%. I'll be honest about it. People were talking some shit, saying we're not checking things and we're not doing things, making sure people are legal and all that, and said it was time to put an end to it. We decided at that point that the top 3 qualifiers in Pro Nitrous, Pro Boost, and Pro Stock, Pro Nitrous and Pro Stock were going to pull ahead, and Pro Boost was going to go through whatever checks we decided on them. So we pulled them apart, and tech team went over, checked all 6 in Nitrous and Pro Stock.
Everybody was good.
All passed with flying colors, and everybody was good.
Wow.
But it was something that needed to happen. Not only for the series and the people that are involved in it, but for the clarity for the racers. I mean, let's be honest, guys. You both race in really competitive classes. You're like me. 99.9% of people in the parking lot's not cheating, but to know that everybody's getting checked, it's a peace of mind for knowing that people are paying attention and people are doing the things. And let's be honest, everybody hates getting teched. Me, from a racer standpoint, I used to love it. Like, I thought it was a badge of honor if tech pulled in.
I was just going to ask Lyle that. Like, Lyle, are you pissed
I
off?
love it.
Are you kind of like, okay, if tech comes over and wants to look at your shit, like, is it annoying? Does it piss you off?
It all depends on. Well, I think it depends on when they do it, and also how. For instance, in Chicago, I think the top 5 in points possibly, or it had to have been because I was in the top half or in the top 5 at that time. But anyway, they made the friction disc and the converter rule.
Mm-hmm.
And they came around and had the top 5 pull their transmissions out and take the converters apart so they could look at it. But they didn't stick around to see if the converter that they pulled out was the one that they came to inspect. So
I heard that. How
was anyone to know that is what was pulled out and then that was what was put back in, right? So like at times like that, you're like, well, what's the point? If you can't verify that this is exactly, how it was and how it's going back together, then I mean, I think it is good to keep everybody honest. But if you're going to keep everybody honest, make sure that you're keeping them honest.
And at that point, even if you don't have I'll be honest, we don't have a lot of footprint in the tech department to say top 5. I know we couldn't do that. At that point, you say, hey, number 1 in points or number 2 in points.
Yeah.
Don't yell at Spencer like that.
Exactly. That's so wrong. He did nothing wrong to you. Anyways.
So for me, I've always thought it was a badge of honor when I love when I make a run in the tech department sitting on the scooter at the top end. And Lyle, how it used to be in NHRA is you never left their site. They sat with you from when you got out of the car. They followed you to the scale, followed you to the chassis pad, followed you to the pits, sat there and watched you take it apart and bang it back together. And that's the way that it used to be. And like, that was a cool deal. I was like, we are going fast, boys, if the tech department's around. But I know that there's a lot of controversy about tech departments being on people that work on teams and stuff like that. I don't have a lot of insight on that, but I know there's a lot of that drama going on.
Of course.
Yeah. Marcus Burt's comment.
Marcus's comment. That's pretty good.
I hadn't seen it. Here's a clip of how you have to drive to run PDRA Pro Boost.
Oh.
Good save.
What a save. Derek Ward with a wild ride.
Shout out to Tyler Crossnoe for the call on that one. I got in trouble last time.
That next view was the better view.
I was about to
Which one? There was another one?
The next one.
Yeah, it goes again. The next clip was better.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Pause, and then I'll let y'all talk.
Good save.
What a save. Derek Ward with a wild ride.
So
that's badass.
Two sides of this story. First off, I was on the microphone and I'm like, oh shit, I hate calling this stuff. I don't even know what to say because I wanted to go, oh shit, but you can't say that. And
you can.
You can.
I did on the airplane.
Second note of this is like probably stuff that only people that were at the racetrack knew this happened. Two pair in front of this run, Kurt Stedding knocks a motor out of it at about 500 feet. Well, we go out, clean it up, get everything back together. And next pair up, I think the guy in the left lane shook. And then Derek makes the lap and gets right. He's 100 foot before that happens, but then the car makes a turn. And I mean, my stomach was turning. I'm like, oh my God, we missed a spot on the racetrack.
Oh no.
We just almost wadded this guy's $500,000 car up. Oh my God. And my top end safety guy jumps on the radio and he goes, y'all got to check the racetrack. There is oil fucking everywhere. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Thank God.
But
because I was scared to death. That's my biggest fear ever.
But y'all realize he set that car down. He turned the wheel to the left while that thing was in the car and in the air and set it down. That's a race car driver.
God, Melanie had aborted that run.
Didn't make a run. I broke a rear end housing at Rockingham one time and did that up on the header, and it is not fun.
That was a brand new car for Melanie. That was the first Pdra outing of that deal. That
was the first run.
Bad. But I do have to say, shout out to Kyle, Straight Line Media, and Limo Guy for those clips right there because they were badass.
Yeah, a lot of times we don't give enough credit to the media that takes some of this stuff. I get yelled at all the time for using a photo and forgetting to tag the people. So thank you when you guys give us cool shit.
Yeah, because they film every time. Guys like Kyle and them, they film every time just so shit like that can happen. Like all day, every day.
I'll let you answer this because I don't know what caused that thing. Did it throw the rods out and got an oil or something? Or
I think it was an oil line. It did throw the rods out. It was still on a lap. But I think if I remember correctly, it was an oil line.
If Spencer's still watching, comment because we talked to Derek in the staging lanes and he told him what happened. It was something from the race before that just had
lingered. It was absolutely wild.
I can't remember what he had said.
There was
intake gasket. There you go.
Yeah, intake gasket. So it probably, I would guess, pushed the end rail or something and squirted oil out in the deal.
Off we went.
I asked him, I said, did you shit your pants? He said, I think I did.
I was ready to throw up. I'm not going to lie.
Big Tire Racing sent some dough for a comment. It's way back up there now, asking Tyler about Pro Street. I don't think we put it up.
Hold on, I'm coming. Okay.
Done. I like me some Pro Street. There it is.
Pro Street.
I will agree. So I'll say this. We've had one nitrous car that's come to race with us since we brought the class back. For those that don't know, this is basically old Outlaw 10.5 is Pro Street. It's a really, really cool class.
It is.
I enjoy it. It's power management. It's not the big 1736 tire. I mean, it's 33 10.5 tire. It's power management. It's tricky. It's ugly sometimes. But I really enjoy the class. There's a lot of good people in it. Ethan Stedding this weekend picked up his first win.
Very cool.
16-year-old kid right out of juniors. Went from a 790 junior to a 390 Pro Street car.
That car is badass.
Super cool kid, super good family. But it's a hard class. I know the nitrous rules they look very attractive. I'll say that. If somebody had a car that was ready to go in trim, I think it could be really fast. We just need somebody to come out and put it on it.
It's kind of like RVW with a nitrous car. Like, I promise you, if you let me bring a purpose-built RVW Pro nitrous car, it will be the quickest, most dominant thing in RVW. Yeah. Same thing with that. Those rules look really shiny for somebody that wanted to
new penny
a top nitrous car.
And that's, at we've all done it as rule makers, as racers, as anything else. You sit up there and you go, man, I really want a nitrous car. I'm going to dangle this carrot out there. Well, then you dangle a carrot too damn far, and then the rules are jacked up. And then you have to, hey, we begged you to come race for a year and a half. Oh, but here's this 50-pound penalty when you drug it up everybody's ass. But that's hard to go back on.
With that said, the nitrous car is the easiest thing to slow down in the world. Like, it is. It has X amount of power. Weight slows it down X amount. It's linear. It's not a difficult combination to get under control. It's not like they got some new whiz bang thing that you don't know what it's going to do, right? And if they come out and whoop everybody at a race, you can have it in check in a race.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, in reality, they're not going to like it, but
yeah, fix it. It's not going to be a fun conversation to have, but you can make that move quick. And I've seen a couple of comments about Super Street. Super Street was really good this past weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of teams that were new this season have stepped up. Gage Lamas, #1 qualifier in his 3rd race out. Connor McGee, 19-year-old kid. Again,
Very cool.
Another one right out of juniors. Brian McGee's kid.
Yep.
I know everybody here, a lot of people in here know Brian McGee from Pro 275 and all his radial stuff. His son's driving the old Fox body that he ran in Pro 275 before the new car. Put it on 28s, and nitrous combination went 65, I think, in the final, alongside Dan Wenstein with Pro Charger cars. So pretty cool class, 28 10-5 deal, and real old school. That's kind of what I wanted to go with when we thought that class up, was that and Outlaw 10-5 Pro Street, just kind of a little bit of old school stuff that we all kind of grew up on, bringing back a new age of that.
And it was really cool to see too. I get the most special view at the top end doing the Jerry Bickle top end zone, because kids like Connor and Ethan winning together and being all like broed up little kid, like, oh my God, we've been doing this forever together. That's another thing, if you're not into the PDRA, that is cool about that to me, because you can fully watch these kids go through the entire system one day, doing like even Braden Davis, like doing junior dragsters and motorcycles. Like, it is the amount of accessibility that you allow in your competition is really cool. And it was really special. Like, I'm getting old, or it's feminine or something, but like, I got emotional watching those kids get so excited down there. It was
Did
crazy.
you just get soft?
I did get soft. And even one of the safety safari guys, or whatever you guys call him, shut up, Stevie. He called me out. He said, did you just get emotional? Because Ethan was just, him and his mom.
you've been drinking on the job. You only get emotional between glass 2 and 3. Then you go back to being the stone cold, fun-loving person that you are.
Stone cold is right.
It's cool.
Robbie Lowry just sent a picture of my Pro Nitrous PDRA run in Rockingham. Very similar deal there. The old rear end housings out of the wall. You can see me turning it to the right when she's flipping over, and that's a scary deal.
No doubt.
Thanks,
There's probably not a good – I don't know if there would be any good feeling in that, other than when all 4 tires sit back on the ground and you go, oh, thank you, baby Jesus. Like, I mean, that's all I would know to say.
Well, so like we were talking about that race the other day. Because right after Derek Ward's deal happened, I was like, it happened to me. So at that race, we tore the rear housing out, had to go get one from Bickle, showed up for the last round of qualifying and got in. We didn't win the race, but it's after that
would have
run,
made a cool story.
Derek Ward is – well, the cool story was I had to run a 379 to get in the field. We went 378 in the last round of qualifying and got in the race and got to smash Ricky Smith. So that was fun. But that run after that, I promise you he was nervous is what I'm getting at.
Love that.
Yep. And also I just got a message from Annette. I hate to bring this down, but is that Annette? Text me and make sure that you want me to say that on the show. Y'all continue.
Yeah, I saw her comment. I'm saying to check your phone.
Yeah, I just want to make sure she wants me to say
those.
that out loud. You can't take it back on live TV.
Yeah, it's over once you say it.
That's what's scary about the Shake and Bake show. Anyway, anything else you want to – I know we skipped over some things, but we're keeping things professional here sometimes. Is there anything else you want to touch on for Norwalk before we let you go?
Good races always. 337 total cars. Hell of a turnout. Bunch of sportsman cars. Just top to bottom, really good racers, really good families. Just a overall fun place to go race. Let's be honest, Stevie, you touched on it a little bit. It's nothing like racing in front of fans. Everybody's fighting the same fight as far as putting butts in the seats, what works, what doesn't. I can tell you we're going to work hard on trying to figure out what's the step on what we all need and what we all need to do to figure out what's the key, where's the key to the lock that swings the gates open and gets people in to watch these things, because it's hard.
I believe you have to look at a little bit of everybody, what everybody's doing good.
Yep.
I believe that part of the reason the peak and then now what I believe is the plateauing of the no prep is that they care less about the racing and more about the show. And I think NHRA does that with Nitro, that everybody does a little bit of it good. But the key is we cannot be so hyper focused on the racing that we forget about the show. Yep. Because at the end of the day, the people that come to the stands pay the bills. And it's not that Tommy Franklin needs people in the stands to watch him to race. It's that the people that he wants to compete against need a sponsorship from an oil company that are not going to sponsor that car if there's not people in the stands. And I don't know what the answer is, but I know we got to make some tough decisions as all of us to continue to put on a show.
Yep, we all do. And Courtney, I'll step on it a little bit. At Norwalk, we started doing driver intros a little bit. Number one qualifier interviews on the starting line right before first round for that same reason. Let's be honest, for a long time, this is a racer-based series. It's pile as many racers as you can, get in there, and let's rock and roll. But at the same time, that's hard. Stevie and Lyle both, you remember these days. It was easy when everybody was busting down the national record book. It was super easy to promote a drag race when all you could talk about was, is the record going to fall this week? And everybody wanted to see it. It was easy to sell a ticket because the question was, when's the record going to fall? Well, now we've all met those records. It's just another number that pops up on the scoreboard, and we've kind of all got ordained to it and just kind of like, oh, shit, another 362.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, neat. There's another one of those. So it's like you said, you have to kind of turn the tide a little bit, and that's where we're throwing darts at the dartboard and saying,
we'll figure it out.
We're
gonna make stars out of these racers here, and we're gonna make sure people want to come in and follow them. And anybody who has anything productive to say, they'll listen. And anybody who just wants to talk shit, just shut up.
Well, I think it's just like we're trying to do with the 2-day NHRA race. It's like we try to do some stuff with Pro Mod. You got to just try some stuff. Some of it's not going to work. Some of it's going to suck. When it doesn't work, you're going to be the dumbest person on the planet. But when you stumble on it, it's going to, you're going to hit it.
Yep. And we're a couple of weeks away from Maryland, and Royce and his team do a really good job up there. And it's always kind of a good market for spectators anyway. So I'm looking forward to getting back to Maryland here in a couple of weeks, June 13th to the 15th. So looking forward to it, and come off of that race, come straight to VMP and see you boys try to kick some ass in NHRA Pro Mod.
Yeah.
Why don't we make it a shake and bake final at VMP?
Oh man, that'd be awesome. Please don't let it be hot. If you could just make it 65, 68 degrees and
give the rain man a break. Keep it dry.
Do you want it dry, or do you want
keep it dry?
What do you want here?
Okay. Well, if it's 60 grains of water, that is dry. I need it to be just rain far away.
Yep, I agree.
So awesome. Well, Tyler, we really appreciate you coming on. You got anybody you want to shout out before we go?
Yeah, thank y'all for having me on, man. I know we've talked about it. I know all of us have talked about it in our own rights of, hey, we need to do this. But thanks everybody for having me on. Thanks to everybody that supports VMP, PDRA, keeps us on the road, on moving every which way, and going up and down the roads to PDRA races are right here at home at VMP. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to the Franklins for giving me the opportunity for what I get to do. And also, I just saw the comment.
Oh, we forgot.
I'm holding my hand over your face, but it's not over the camera.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
First of all, thank you for caring about the sport. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for actually being one of the folks that care about the sport. But we always ask this question, and I already know the answer. But do you eat fajitas, and do you love fajitas? Do you wake up in the middle of the night thinking about them?
I do not wake up in the middle of the night. A good fajita is good, but I'm not picking a fajita first. I will say that.
I'll take that.
You got Giuseppe's a half mile from the track. So take that.
That's an Italian place, dog. So
I know, but I'm saying you're not going to go to the Mexicano restaurant.
No, but what he's saying is when he goes to the Mexican restaurant, he does order fajitas.
Yeah, when I go to a Mexican restaurant, I'm not picking a fajita first.
Did Lyle give you $20?
Yes.
Has your testimony been tampered by anyone on this show?
Yeah, this is Lyle 316. Thanks for playing.
Fucking work, didn't it?
Did you receive a free set of beadlocks or any racetrack compensation for your testimony here today?
Maybe.
Who cares?
You might
Damn.
be entitled to
But you might
mesothelioma
have.
compensation.
Don't let me get video of you with a big old steamy pile of fajitas because I'll put it on.
I might have my food and beverage manager make us some fajitas for national.
There you go. Awesome. Well, Tyler, thank you for coming on the show, brother. Thank you for everything you do. We'll see you soon.
Always. Thanks, guys.
See you, buddy.
See y'all soon. See you soon, Court.
See you, man.
Man, great guest, great kid, works hard, got a long future in the sport right there.
Reed, listen, the PDRA is freaking where it's at. I love the PDRA racing. Love it, love it, love it.
We've got some eggs being put in the KTR basket in the PDRA department coming up soon. I want to give a shout out to Annette and Bernie. Annette lost her mom, passed away. They got a funeral coming up tomorrow. Everybody in the racing community reach out to Annette and Bernie. That's a tough deal right there. And they're close to me. And hopefully that.
Sorry, Annette. We love you.
Sucks. We love you. All right. What else is on the agenda? We got to get.
We need to
I'll talk.
Lyle shit from the weekend.
Yeah. So for those of you that didn't see, I've been racing at Shady Side for a really long time, and I have never seen cars parked out to the road. But if you are familiar with pulling into the gates at Shady Side, you're up the hill past the ticket shack, and when you started coming back down the hill to go into the track, there were cars parked on the sides of the road.
Badass.
And everywhere else. Over 50 small tire. They only allowed a 28-inch non-W bias ply. So pretty much everybody was on a Mickey Thompson true 28 by 10.5 slick. Very similar or exactly what Super Street runs, but the rules were a little more unlimited. I've saw a couple comments asking about what I drove and if I laid down, and I'll get to that in a minute. But Larry Roach called me early in the week, ordered a set of wheels. He's got a couple cars. He's got an NPK car that he used to run and the Barracuda, which he's had for a while. Told him I, was struggling to find something to race that was fast for the weekend, and ended up having the opportunity to drive two cars. Just said, look, I'll drive whichever one's faster when we're done testing, and the Barracuda was faster. So that's what I drove. It's a pro-charged Hemi deal, but there were cars of all walks. The Team Denver from here local brought all their back and front side no prep cars. I've seen a lot of comments about it being a no prep race. It was not a no prep race. It was never advertised as a no prep race. This was Shady Side, the Buff brothers, Corey Stamper and that crew's attempt at bringing early 2000s small tire racing back. Let the tire be the equalizer, not dependent on track prep. And I haven't seen a place, a true outlaw, a nostalgic outlaw track that fired up in a really, really long time. It was so cool to be a part of. All three tiers, if you've been to Shady Side, the pits are terraced. All three tiers were full. They're working on a fourth. And I think there's a bright future in that style of racing. I told Stevie before we went live tonight that the next time this happens, we've got to do something, take a car of some sort that fits and go run on a 28.
That's why we were late.
Some of Stevie's old parts more than likely won this race. The OG Bumblebee with Bill Lutz behind the wheel, Patrick Miller and Bill's son tuned that thing over the weekend, and they ran really well, and they ended up winning the deal for $50,000, which was really cool. Stevie, do you know how many of your old parts may have been in that thing?
No telling. No telling how many parts were there, but I'm just glad they're still getting it down on a true 28. What's the rule package?
Pretty much.
Hell, like what's the rule package?
Pretty much steel roof and quarter. No pro mods, but as far as
like a Pro 275 car,
100%. And I tried to get Tommy Human's car that Marcus drives before that race was happening, and it just worked out that
just
Tommy
know that
and Marcus.
I went 14s in a car with roll-up windows, factory doors, and a VIN plate that was 100 inches long at 3,300 pounds in 2012.
Yeah.
So we can probably figure that out.
But, it was hot. It was 9,000 degrees. The track was 15,000 degrees. And it was tricky. It wasn't easy. But It was just good racing. On those slick tire deals go up and down the racetrack. And I had a lot of fun. I saw a couple comments that I lay down because I was driving Larry's other car and Larry was in the other lane. Fuck no.
If
you went like 003 red or something, right?
6.
No, I was 003 red. I was 003
red. 003 red. Lyle's not that good to be able to guess that late.
Lyle's not the guy to do that. Like, if you want to bring Lyle into your program, he ain't going to fucking do that.
And I know, but me and Larry aren't like best friends, and he just literally gave me a car. Like, here you go. Here's a 3-second capable, pro-charged Hemi, car that obviously not 3 second. Well, yeah, it probably is on a 28, but not there, and like before the run, I'm like, they knew I didn't have to tell them. Like, I'm not late for $50,000. I ain't laying down for fucking nobody. Like, not my grandma, not my dog, not my son, not my sister, not my mom, not my dad, nobody. Like, I don't give a damn. For $50,000, I'm going to cut your head off and turn the 4-way flashers on before the finish line if I got them.
And we'll figure it out afterwards. Be like, oh man, I'm sorry.
I'll split money with you, but I want to win. But a lot of people said he got out of the gas to let Larry win. No, I got out of the gas because the freaking other wind light was flashing. There was no need for me to beat on my man's stuff down the racetrack to chase him when I was already red.
People are so stupid.
But anyway, no, I did not lay down. I wanted to win so bad. And Larry texted me this morning and was like, just so you know, and we made some changes right before that run that I agreed on. And had we not changed them, it may have made a difference. But anyway, the race was awesome. Corey and the Buff brothers and Stevie, you raced at Shady Side a little bit back in the day ever?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When I was cutting my teeth in small tire racing, we were at Kinston, Shady Side. I love racing there. I've been pretty fast there.
Ronnie Buff, who really built Shady Side to what it is today, passed away several years ago, and that was his memorial race. And his grandsons are continuing the legacy there. It's still down by the creek. The scoreboards are still hung across the finish line on a power line. It's old school. It's nostalgic. And it is a true outlaw racetrack. And they did a fantastic job. I told them, I hate that I missed the boat sponsoring that deal with MacFab, that I'm always in for the future of that deal. And they're already talking about paying more money in the future for something big, better. So I suspect that the next time they do that, there will be 100 cars there. It was invite only this time. And Corey Stamper caught just the brutal end of that stick for who got invited and who didn't. But that's what made it cool. You couldn't, not just everybody could show up, and everybody was paying attention. The Preston brothers, who run Pro 275 and some outlaw stuff, posted a time slip a couple weeks ago where they went like 416 at 190 some mile an hour on a 28. I know of some people, I know for a fact that some people didn't show up because of that, and neither one of them dudes were in the final. Actually, they weren't in the semifinal. So, that didn't matter. They ran a great race and they were really fast. They just had some unfortunate stuff happen. But either way, like, it was fucking badass. And I hope that they continue to do that deal, because I think there is a future for that, especially here in the Southeast, which is how me and Stevie started anyway on 28s and slicks. It was just freaking cool.
You got to really drive the race car. You got to be good at driving the race car.
Yes.
That thing sashaying the whole way down the track. You're driving it. You're driving it. You can't put anybody in that thing as fast as they're doing.
I got to say, too, something that's cool when all three of us are on literally different sides of the world. Stevie's over in Brazil posting numbers that I don't know how to freaking convert. Lyle's down there at Shady Side doing this. I'm at PDRA live on the street in our Shake and Bake group text. Like, that's the only way that I knew what was going on with either of you guys. And so just maybe David, right? You're correct. I'm on my third glass of wine. I'm emotional. I thought it was really cool that we were all just doing different shit, but we were like boasting each other up in that group text, and it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Stevie, I got a text that says to clear up that big money LDR race in October at Steel. It has nothing to do with the track. It is a no-time promoter that is doing this.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it. I found out about it today. And we got to find out some more information, but we need that no-time promoter to put a little skin in the game.
Stevie, you want to talk about what you did in Brazil?
Yeah, we kicked the crap out of everybody. So we missed Chicago. We had to race in Brazil. We went down there with our Artavinco racing team. Very excited to race in Brazil. It's fun down there. This time of the year is their winter. They're exactly opposite from us, so they're going into their winter while we're going into our summer. Conditions are good. The track record in Brazil, we won the first race. This was race number 2. Sydney Frigo leading the points. Track record was a 370 with a 0 when we got there. In Q1, we went 366. In Q4, the last qualifying session, we absolutely laid the donkey. That's not started.
De olho no grandão, 361! 361!
Hey, that's some KTR horsepower and a badass race car driver in that thing. Thank y'all for watching. That one's going to hurt for a while.
They said, no comprendo, amigo.
They don't know. The only people that know what I'm saying is y'all, because over there they don't speak a lot of English. But it was good. We smashed the record by 900ths. Qualified number 1. Won the race, and that's the South America pro mod record. It was pretty good. And a 361 in the States is not a big feat, but the barometer there's 2720. It's on a mountain. It's in the rainforest. It's the air was the best I've ever seen there, 3,200 feet. Most of the time it's about 5,000 feet. Corrected, still a really good run.
61's not a bad stateside run either.
Not a bad one, but it felt good to go with 66, back it up with a 61, get to Boston and Winter Circle, have a good showing over there in front of the folks. It was a good get healthy weekend. We had a blast. You want to see some passionate drag racing fans? Brazil has some passionate drag racing fans.
Shit, you get a tiny little taste of that if you come to World Cup in Maryland. Good Lord, that's what that.
I want to. I want to bring the shadow of the World Cup so bad. I can't.
Please do. As the person who runs the flow racing department, Stevie Jackson, we need to talk on a flow racing front for you to get that car there.
Oh man, I
want to get it there. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Is there a rules committee over there that's gonna trample y'all before the next race?
No, because they all have the same stuff. It's not like we're beating another combination by 900s. We beat the guy with the same stuff as us by 900s.
That's insane.
Yeah. So it's pretty tight racing over there. There's some pretty good hot rods. Track's unique, but it's awesome. Kind of like Shadyside. It's built on a mountain. It took Sydney, I think, 12 years or something like that to build it. It sat for a long time. They dug it. It's in the middle of the mountain, and it's pretty awesome. When you go over there, you see how much passion Sydney has for drag racing. He built a track in his backyard. And that's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. So looking forward to build off that momentum and see if we can get the old girl in the show in Epping.
I haven't seen any updates. Is the other side, where Fuel Tech and stuff in Brazil, is it still mostly underwater? Is that going down?
Yeah,
I haven't seen anything lately.
Pretty devastating there. When I talked to Anderson some at the race and talked about, it's still underwater. It's just now drying up. The amount of equipment that they lost, it's going to be a long time before they understand the true financial impact. But it's big. It's big. It's not like, okay, we lost $1 million worth of stuff. It's way, way bigger than that. People lost all their possessions in the world, in that flood. And we raised a bunch of money. They can make shows. Huh?
A lot of their employees lost their homes.
That's what I mean. A lot of their employees don't have anything anymore. And it's a tough deal. We raised a bunch of money for them at the last show, and it's tough. It's going to be a tough. Fuel Tech's going to have a tough time for the next foreseeable future recovering from this. And they're going to be fine. They got a bunch of staff. They got good inventory in the States. They're going to be okay, but it's going to be tough.
There's a lot of that shit going on in this here world at the moment.
Steven, we don't bring that car back and forth. That the Chevelle stays in Brazil. So we have a shop at the racetrack. We service it there, race it there, and it stays down there. It's expensive to bring cars back and forth.
Do you have a crew of guys there that kind of work on stuff and whatnot when y'all aren't there?
Yeah, so Adriano leads the shop over there. He leads Ortavenco, the Brazilian side. Eduardo and Diego are the guys that are in the shops every day. There's a whole bunch more guys, but they're kind of there. They're the hands-on. And they can pretty much do anything. I can tell them to get the heads off the motor. Today, the other car that we raced, they rolled bearings in it, main bearings, and they do a pretty good job. They can get the transmission out. They can really do anything on the car. Anything inside the engine, that's a KTR engine. We kind of service that when we get there. But yeah, they have very capable hands on the ground. They can get anything done from wiring. They completely converted the Chevelle to EFI a couple of races ago and wired that in Brazil, did everything in-house. We got there and it was pretty flawless. So they got a good team. That's a motorsports loving bunch of folks down there.
Good. So. That's good.
That's real good.
That's real.
All right, what else you got? Are you on 4 yet? Man, I don't have the wino meter. Are you where you're going to start getting?
That was a good one. I will say I'm a half a bottle done. That was a good one.
So are you to where you get fun and mean?
I'm always fun.
Can we see the skirt?
It's
if I didn't ask, can we see it? I don't want you to show it to me because I asked. We're talking about it before the show.
I'll stand up before No, we're on 3. We're still on 3. Calm down.
Okay.
Calm down. But good glass. Look, I have the exact night. Sorry, David. I used the Erica came over for Memorial Day last night. We grilled steaks and it was amazing. Like lesbians, we grilled. I wore cutoffs and a Bronco shirt to the fair, and then we cooked steaks and it was cliche. But I used my 00 shit show glass last night, so I couldn't do it today. David. I'm sorry. We had a great day. So I feel like I'm going to talk about it now. Erica's back on. I just texted her to come back on. So I don't speak for my sister. Contrary to public belief, I do not speak for Erica Enders. But Erica Enders has zero problem with John DeFlorian and what happened there. I think it's good for the class. I think it's good for the sport that somebody climbs in a race car from another series, which we fully support, comes in and beats the champ. That's ideal, right? Like that's show up and race. That's good for participation. If you saw her interview afterwards, some people kind of skewed that she was talking shit to John or talking shit about KB as a whole. And Erica, text me if you want me to shut up, but that message was for Matt Hartford Racing, not for John DeFlorian, not for KB, not for Owen, not for anybody except for that stuff going on there. So Erica can speak for herself on whatever's going on there. But I wanted to clear up that any kind of hostility, any kind of credential talking, if anybody heard that little interview, that had nothing to do with John. That had nothing to do with.
I'm tired of all the soft skin bullshit. Nobody likes getting crushed. I don't give a shit if it's somebody that's good from another series or if you like them or if you're Lyle or you. If I race you and you beat me, I'm not going to be nice. I'm going to shake your hand and I'm proud of you. And later down the road, I'm going to say this was great for the sport. But don't expect us to be filtered down there and be like, I'm so glad that guy come in and just kicked the shit out of me. That's not how she feels. At that point, she wants to strangle the life out of them.
The NHRA wants us to start drumming up drama. Let me tell you, in the pro set category, we don't have to drum it up. It's there. There's a lot of manifold new rules that have been there forever, but certain participants are just participating in the rule. There's a lot of shit authentically going on that we don't have to drum anything up right there. But there was shit froze up. Gosh damn fucking Winniewood. I just explained your interview, Erica. You're fine. Don't worry. But I will say they wanted to drum up, and I'm no Me Too feminist, all the things, but certain people say things, certain people spark up arguments, and it's okay. But for some reason, my poor sister, gosh damn, when she's a bitch, people hate it, but I love it. I think that it's authentic because this girl loves winning more than anything in the world. She hates losing more than she loves winning. And we've talked about that on this show
That's
before.
not
But
saying, don't steal my shit.
I
Don't
just said
steal
we
my
talked
shit.
about it on the show before, Stevie. But I will say there's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes. There was a show that was put on. Shut up. There was a show that was put on KB Titan's Facebook page, and if Chase Freeman is still in this chat right now, like, this is going to continue. This is not fake. There's a lot of shit going on, and the people in the pro stock category right now, I can't speak otherwise. I know I speak pro stock too much, blah, blah, blah. This is what I know. Watch it, because it's real and there's shit going on, and these people hate fucking losing to each other.
Here's the deal. They don't ever interview me when I lose, but I promise you it won't be good. Like if they say, what do you feel about the ass whooping you just got? I'll be like, well, let me tell you, it sucked.
They interviewed me when I red lit against Stevie at Virginia because I pitched such a fit down there.
Right, but I'm saying, like,
every piece of safety equipment I had.
Nobody likes losing. So
no,
like,
and if
guys,
God, I hate it.
You can speak reasonably, but there's a lot of chirping. There's a lot of shit going on. And my sister's an easy target in that sense because she doesn't give enough of a fuck to not say it. And I love it.
She's an easy target because she wins a lot. You can say that.
But also because she allows things people to say to affect what comes out of her mouth. And I think that that's cool. And that's what they push for. And people are going to say it. And I'm not just saying that because she's my sister. If this was Sienna Wildgus doing it, or if it was anyone else doing it, I'd say bring more of it too, man or woman. And I just think it's cool, and I'm here for it. And Chase Freeman, you let us know what's gonna fucking happen this weekend here with your buddy.
You are an ezy target.
He is.
But seriously, the shit is real. And if you're not watching pro stock racing, you need to.
All right, so we're going long. We got one more. We need to talk about that other thing. Oh, the win at bragging rights. Oh yeah, did we talk about bragging rights since I went to bragging rights? No.
Yeah, I thought we did.
I thought y'all did last week.
We didn't have the show last week.
Maybe
we did. Nate said bring up. Got to bring the show up. We won the car show and the Kids' Choice Award with the Shadow. Hey, baby, she's a good-looking old lady. She's a pretty old lady. She
was better looking before you fucked her up.
We're going to get her fixed again.
Okay. Do we have a date for the one in December yet or no?
Does it matter? You're not going to come.
You're going to show up on Sunday before the check presentation and be like, oh, I'm Courtney. Here's my pretty hair.
Y'all, you know what? Y'all are fucking haters, but it's good to be me, so fuck you both.
Okay.
Now we're pouring. Let me get that old trusty. All right. And click that one on there. All right. Let's see the skirt, and then we got to talk about the other thing. Huh?
What other thing?
The other thing that I'll ask about in the private chat, because I don't know anything about it, but I feel like we should talk about it.
Oh, God. I didn't want to give this dude the fucking time.
I don't know nothing about it.
Oh, you
all right,
we're not
going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. See? Morgan says, Alicia says you got pretty hair. See, I'm a nice guy, too.
Yeah, that's just because she's – never mind.
That's because Morgan helps do my hair. Another wedding will happen.
Coming off the rails.
Listen, I have not texted you back way more than you've not texted me back. It's fine.
Yeah, so true story. They had the Shake and Bake show playing on the PA at Bragging Rights, and it was the last show when you weren't on, and me and Lyle were cursing a lot and talking about a lot of wieners and stuff, and all I can think about is my mom is probably here, or for sure some people from my church, or for sure some kids that I mentor in a school, and here I am on the PA. I was like,
yeah, the Shake and Bake, it does its job on YouTube at 8:30 at night, but when it's noon on a Saturday, it hits different.
It just doesn't sound the same on the PA.
But I will say this one will probably be on the next PDRA live feed, so yay me.
I think we kept that pretty good.
No, it was great. That was a great segment. That was an absolute great segment.
Hey,
yeah,
Stevie,
I'm having to do some.
What do you have to say about people who bet money at a grudge race and don't pay it?
Is that what the drama was about?
Yeah.
So okay. the last time I saw that happen at a real grudge race, the guy got thrown out of the window of a car and killed. So like the way I grew up and the way we grow up is that's not, you only get to do that once.
Yeah.
So I watched a very close member of my organization tell someone one time, you can either give me what we just won from you, or I'm going to decide what that dollar value is on your car and take it with me. I'm not going to call the name, but y'all can probably figure it out. And not a good deal in the grudge racing community. Grudge racing is the real deal. It's not on television. It's not the fake stuff. It's the real deal.
Well, what everybody's talked about, I'm just going to fucking say it, is that
do it. Fire.
I think that John Odom is a scum of the earth when it comes to drag racing. He is not a drag racer. He's just a drag racing personality. That dude can't drive a nail in a fucking watermelon. But
Snowman's ass.
Do what?
Can't drive a nail up a snowman's ass. I like
that too. But so Swanstrom and them bet him early in the year, and he's refused to pay and all these things. And then over the weekend, Justin offered him a race, but to race him straight up. And here's another problem I have with the No Prep Kings deal. You cannot imitate a flashlight start in a drag race without a man standing out there with a fucking flashlight in his hand. So stop with the instant green bullshit. Like, just, it's not cool. Nobody gives a shit. Instant green is so dumb. You have to do this. Did the tire crack? Use a 400 Pro Tree race like God intended drag racing to be done, and be done with the bullshit. Right. So now Justin offered, hey, race me straight up 1,500, which I think is what John owed him in the first place. And what does dumbass scum of the earth John Odom do? He goes up there and guesses the fucking light. Right. But you know, at the end of the day, he could, because they use the instant green and it sucks just major donkey balls. So like, let's just be done. Let's stop with the bullshit. I hope Sam is watching, or somebody from the No Prep Kings organization can replay this, because it is the dumbest thing. Nobody sitting in the stands. How many times have you been to a drag strip and sat in the stands where you could see the driver's side of the Christmas tree? How many times? How many times have y'all done that? Fucking not many is the answer to that. Most of the time you're sitting at the top end because you want to see them when they come by. You can't see the fucking Christmas tree anyway.
Yeah.
400 Pro Tree. You don't know what they're leaving off of. Who cares? Is this a drag race, or are we there to fluff feathers and sell funnel cakes? Like, let's fucking get it together. But anyway, I think
I think the whole instant green thing it is the scourge of drag racing. It's not drag racing. You can't call it a drag race. There's nothing to start the race.
And Chase Ramsey, I don't think. You know, I thought MPK. I don't think MPK is dying. They have just, it is on the verge of needing something, or I agree, it is going to die.
They don't have a direction at the moment. You
know, and like all this, this is the last time I'm going to talk about him. John Odom does not own his car. He has not paid for that car. That dude is broke as a joke. He is not some rich dude. And he is like, that dude is a disgrace to this sport. And I hope and pray to God that somehow, some way, he finds his way out and never comes back again. Fuck that dude.
We're putting that on a t-shirt.
This is what Shake and Bake was intended for.
I mean, it's just stop being like that. Either be a man and pay your bets and race like you're supposed to.
One thing for sure.
Go rent private jet from your ex-wife's husband, whatever.
From 100%, I have never seen anybody welch on a bet in drag racing and stay in drag racing very long. And that is a fact. And you can't tell me that too many people have. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but I ain't seen it happen a lot.
Yeah. I just like, I've seen enough this week, and like, I like Justin and his dad, and everybody saw this short little clip of Corey or Big Country, you know, yelling at him across. He told him he was a joke and a piece of shit or something like that. And this is all stemming from bets not paid and him guessing the light when the bet was that they raced straight up. And it's just pathetic, man. Like,
but you should never have it where you can guess the light and then you don't have to worry about it.
No, that's ridiculous.
Can you imagine in Pro Stock or Top Fuel or something, if you could just like guess the light sometimes? I mean, there would be no class because no one would race that, because it takes the competitor out of it. It takes the key. Drag racing is not about the cars. I'm sick and tired of hearing about the cars. Drag racing is about the people driving the cars. When you have instant green, you take the people driving the car out of it. You take everything that is good about their skill. The reason Lyle leaves everybody on the starting line, you take that skill set out, and you can allow a dumbass to beat you. And that's what I hate about it.
Well, and like Swanstrom posted earlier this week or today, that the only reason somebody guesses the light is if they know their shit's fucking slow, and that's the only chance they have. And right now, and I agree with him, but right now, current rules, the current way that they run the NPK deal, like, it's legal. Like, you can do it, and it's terrible, like just 400 pro, 500, some kind of pro tree where you can either red light or not. Yeah. There's no reviewing footage for a tire crack and all this shit. Like, just be done. I would love to poll the fans at the next No Prep Kings event and ask how many of them truly care, whether it's better question. Would you attend the next No Prep Kings race if it was a 400 pro tree? Well, I take that back. 85% of them don't even know what that is.
I was just going to say they don't know. The people who watch that series watch it for different reasons than other people watch drag races.
Hey, but is that a king air in your avatar there? Mighty Mouse Malibu? Looks like a little king air back there. Forget.
Scott B asked, but can't you just do the same thing? No. I can go red whenever I want to.
You can go 003 red.
I can. So no, I've seen that a bunch too. Like, anybody who can cut a double or a perfect light on a pro tree is just guessing anyway. Not guessing.
No.
Good at what we do.
Sometimes you fall on one side or the other.
That's correct. So no, you can't. Maybe that's not what you were talking about, Scott. But no, we don't guess on a 400 pro tree. We cut a light.
I like it when you get pissed off.
But turn on the freaking scoreboard. I don't think they should turn the scoreboards on. That would kill the class. That would kill No Prep Kings faster than anything else.
Do not do that.
There's like 3 or 4 guys out there who run really, 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 really good, and there's probably twice that many who aren't even in the same ballpark. And a few times the track gets good, they go to a good track like Virginia Motorsports Park, and Ryan Martin and your Swanstroms and your Pat Musey stuff, Lizzie, or even Kai's car, any of those that have decent programs are going to post some numbers that are unachievable by the bottom half of that deal. And that most of them probably know, but that would solidify the deal. And that would be really bad. So I think no time, it is 100% appropriate. Everything else about the way they do it is wrong. Okay.
What do you say, Courtney?
I don't like that kind of racing, but
Oh, so here's how it goes. Really sweet between 3 and 4, mean as hell after 4. Now we're heading back into sweet land again.
I think it's stupid. I think that it takes away from real racing. I've never watched one single fucking cast of one single episode of that shit. There's your honest answer. Never. Never. But I will say, I'm going back to the sweetness real quick. Maybe I'm killing the mood here, but prayers to Lizzie Musey and all that stuff. She's pulled out and going talk to the Red Line oil people and going to try something risky here in Germany. And God dang it, man, I hate that.
It's really scary stuff.
And I fell right into it. But yeah, I don't like that kind of fucking racing. I think it brings good attention to our sport. I think people like Lizzie have taken it and run with it and done really good with it. But I think the on-track racing is fucking stupid.
Scott B said, no, that is what he's talking about. I just guess if you're trying to guess and doing it, couldn't you just do it? Oh, Lord.
Today, Junior.
I can't decipher exactly what he's asking, but so a 400 pro
figure out a reaction time. If you can figure that out, let me know. I'd like to figure mine out.
So a 400 pro tree, those of us that have done it a long time, we react to the 3 bulbs coming on and can go red. I can go red any time kind of deal. If we have to do things, especially in NHRA, because we're not allowed a delay box. You have to do things to slow yourself down a little bit. Like I've shimmed on my button, run those Biondo 00 big trans brake buttons where you can put shims in there and move it out or back or whatever you want to do to try to slow yourself down. But like if you put the fastest button you could get in an NHRA Pro Mod car and go up there and absolutely mow the tree down, you are red most of the time.
Yeah, like drivers that can drive, we are in as thin as you can possibly get it.
Yeah.
If you poke it in an inch, you're red. So basically, in case you guys don't know how the time system works, on a 4/10 Pro Tree like NHRA or PDRA, you got 4/10 of a second from amber to when you can break the beam. And that if you break the beam at 4/10, that's perfect. A lot of bracket rated trees are 5/10 trees or whatnot. But what Lyle's saying is that we can react faster than 4/10. We can be 390, 380, 3 whatever. So we slow the cars down. If you have a delay box, you just go after the tree all the time and set the delay box up.
Like I guarantee you, Spencer Hyde, who another one of the best out there, leaving in his box in PDRA, I bet there's 25 in there most of the time, if I had to guess. And he could verify that if he's still on. But I bet there's 25 to 30 in it at all times. I will say when I raced Spencer in the quarterfinals of the Snowbirds, I was debating on how much to put in my box or take out or whatnot. And I rounded the corner and I said, you know what? Zero in the box. I'm cleaning it out. I just buried my thumb a little deeper where I knew I could be pretty close. And he was just on.
I don't know if he pulled all his out either, but he had the same. There he goes. He had the same conversation because when y'all two run each other, when it's something like that, like I was kind of hoping you felt the same way about it. Like just fucking let it be.
Yeah. No, I know that.
Lyle, I can guarantee you every single time I race Lyle, there's this much in the box because I know where to go and I don't give a shit if it's 001 red. I know that Spencer either took away three numbers from himself. So, and he turned it like 4 red or something. So had he not done that, I think he would have been 1. Anyway, he was just dead nuts really close on that run. But, God, I forget what else I was going to say. Anyway, there is your Tech Tip Tuesday for.
Here's your starting line seminar.
Starting line tech tip.
We kind of went off on a here tangent.
Yeah, we did.
Well,
and it's almost 10 o'clock.
Oh man,
God's country. It's 8:48, but I haven't had dinner yet. So
it's God's country, and
okay, Joe. No, sir.
Y'all are living on Tulsa time. I live in Oklahoma, riding in a Pontiac. You know,
we have resorted to singing.
So we're done here.
All right.
Yep, that's enough for me.
Yep, that's all she did, folks.
I've had enough.
Are you giving the fans a shot of the skirt or not?
The chat's fucking out of control. I can't even read it. I'm gonna fucking rage.
So are you giving them a shot of the skirt or not?
Absolutely not.
Okay. I don't care. I've seen it. You just said you would earlier, so everybody's thinking that you're not telling the truth.
I think they feel like it's like some booty skirt. It's literally something Courtney would serve like cart girl at the country club.
Yeah,
in. Like,
Stevie Fast.
Race day.
Yeah, she wears it at the
race day, pulling somebody into the beams. I always sing. I sing sober, hammered, anything. It just gets worse. So I can't sing any, but I sing all the time. I do. I always sing.
No, I'm laughing at Double shit show with the comments. It's just bait and switching.
Bait and switch. Yeah.
No,
all right. Thanks for staying on here. 1,000 people to see the skirt. We appreciate it. You got anything else? I think it's been a great show. Sorry we went long. It's been a little bit. We're going to try to get on a schedule of not missing these. I know it's been a little erratic. There's a lot going on racing. On our YouTube channel, I do have an announcement. We are going to start making content. So believe it or not, we're going to try to drop a YouTube video on our off Shake and Bake weeks. So we've got some shop updates coming. We got some Brazil racing coming. We're getting some stuff in the hopper, and we're going to make an attempt. Don't yell at me if I don't get it. We're going to make an attempt to have a video for you guys on off Shake and Bake weeks.
Also, I do want to say when we skip shows and stuff, like a lot of these shows that are on, a lot of drag racing shows, they pre-record. I pre-recorded 2 of them this week for things that are going out next week. one thing that's cool about the Shake and Bake show is that we are live and that's what we do. But what comes with that is some schedule stuff. So we appreciate y'all giving us a little bit of ebb and flow with that, because I think keeping it live is crucial.
Yeah. The bad thing about a pre-tape show is you can take out the crap that you said that was stupid.
Well, like every people to be here with us
watches this show, he tells me, as your attorney, do not do the Shake and Bake show. He said, you are live on the internet.
Yes.
I just tell them I pay you to defend me. So like when they come sue me, I'll send you the letter.
I was worried Flo was going to tell me to stop, but they love it too. So here we are.
We're good.
Folks want the truth. We already did it. I haven't done a video of the Honky Rocky yet because I'm scared of the FAA. But we'll maybe do something about that soon. So far, successfully made about a dozen flights and has not tried to take me out. So it's pretty good. Ooh. Lyle, rumor is you're possibly buying a car you drove at the race.
That's not true. Larry Roach would never sell that car. It's very sentimental. I may drive, or I am going to drive it again, but he will not sell it, and I don't blame him for that.
If you guys are watching or not subscribed to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You don't know how many people I get ask me, how do I know when you have a show on? Well, the way you do it is you subscribe and click on the like and click on the bell icon. And then every time we go live, every time we post on YouTube, bing, it shows up.
Also, follow our social medias. Somebody asked, Steven asked about the $50K to win at Cecil. You're right. We didn't get to touch on that as much, but Steve King won that deal. It was a really cool deal. They had some rain, some unfortunate stuff, but Jim Halsey and the folks at Cecil put on a really, really good show. Kurt Stedding almost got it done again, but Steve King, and it gave him a little momentum at Pdra this weekend. So good stuff.
I will be, and Steve King and those guys have been hauling ass for a long time. Like they took $1 from me every single time we lined up at World Series of Pro Mod because they whooped me by a couple thousand. That thing's running good. Like that's a fast ass.
Freddie Scriba too, same deal. Like I feel like he's on the just brink of something really, really cool here. There's a lot of good stuff.
At Halsey's track in about 2 hours and 10 minutes because we're testing at Cecil County tomorrow.
Well, have fun with all that there, water boy.
Oh man.
I didn't get that. What is the water boy? Oh, have fun there, Welches. You're normally meaner if you've had a bottle of wine.
I haven't had a bottle. It's to here.
Bonanza. Say bonanza. You tell me if you say bonanza if that's not a fun word.
Bonanza is a great word, and it's from the
chimichanga. It just rolls off
vineyards, which is great. So shout out Camus, fucking sponsor your girl, man.
God, will y'all end this show?
Okay, we're done.
Okay, thanks for watching episode 36 of Chicken Bee Show. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a good evening. Matt's not here. I don't even know how to end the show.
God.
That's why.
You really don't?
How to end it.